Officer, detain him.
Officer, detain him!
Just sit down. Let's get to the bottom.
Bro, I've seen teachers in middle school have more energy, like more urgency to break up a fight than the cop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This cop
like,
does not give a They probably know it's
Holy
class.
fuck.
They're like, oh, it's another class thing.
I think the cop just came up and he was like, if he dies, he dies.
Like,
That was his mentality.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the actual show.
Wow.
Let's get into Jer.
What a great Whoa Buddy segment. All right, guys.
Wow!
Ow!
Awesome!
I hurt my throat doing that. God damn it. All right.
I know. All right, so we're going to start off in our miscellaneous Jer folder with a total casino victory. Total Jer detractor victory. Jer once again rolling over and humiliating and degrading himself and admitting he's a broke failure.
I thought he was rich.
Bomb. Well, let's
I probably only
listen.
got a year or two left of this streaming gig, and
Yes!
I can't retire.
Oh, Viva! Woohoo! And it's sweet, sweet, sweet
Free
victory.
bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get some subs. Jer's germinal decline is coming
Fuck
to
you,
an
Jer.
end. He can't retire. He's broke as a joke. He's gonna have to get a job. Let's get some
But last month, Ashton, he had the highest views ever. We don't know business. He makes 100,000 a week on coffee.
I thought the coffee was its best sales week and month ever.
Yeah. A year left. A year?
What about the coffee company, Jer? What?
Jeez.
We got Tony Panther for 5
subs. That's 5
bring it
more.
back.
There you go. Big support.
Big
Let's
support.
Go.
Let's go for 5 subs. Another Felting for a sub.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
bring it back. Let's hear this one more time.
Wait. We're not done yet. Let's fucking do
Every
this.
sub is another tier from Jer's. Jer's looking
We'll do a
at the
short one.
subs.
We'll do a
Bring it
short
over
one.
to the other. Oh!
We'll do a short
Oh, the subs are coming in now. Everybody send 1 sub to Felt Jer right now. Every sub is another tear from Jer's eyes. Oh, tough Jer. Oh, no.
Jer, just call me roll.
We got the Quarterzan, the Gift, Crumbums the second, Roland McDolan for 5 subs, Capybara supporter, Trollkin Gaming, the Gift, Chrissy's crying toddler, big support, let's go. Jer Rattler Reel, Nose Goblin, Jer Unattended Death Mattress, X in Wonderland, DSP is bald for 5 subs, Shrapnel Stars, Double Lobster Tails, 12 Hams, he's gay, Pseudo Brain, Adam Carolla, Ball in Ball Nuts, Kadikatsu says rape Jer this instant, Gentleman Bystander, Dead Air Jer 69, Defective Detective, Elzoff, Slick MF Willie, John in the Zone, 1M Pulse, 5 shots of water, Frank Boot for 10 subs, Vapor Babe, Cujo, Andy's Greninja, Blaggerty, Aussie, Female Kino Enjoyer, that must be a lot, Handled Degree, JG, MNG, subscribe, Supreme Anal, Roswell the Cat, insert fake name here, Sneed Chuckson says he's cocked, Gunted Warrior says the house always wins, Jer, Scrimpin Kick, Vagicarp, 79 Ryan, The Virus, Cocaine Canadian, Star Crunch 7, Cobalt Jones,
Bye, Jer.
Random
Bye.
Rose, Swallow Cost Survivor, Rarded TC, Jer's Dirty CPAP Mask, NYC Sewer Rat, and Judo Joe Black. Huge support. That's what a real live stream looks like.
All right.
Real Mark Wade for a sub as well. Ablatious with a
Thank you.
sub.
Let's go. That's how you
And
rape
Cocaine
Jer, folks.
Canadian says, Jer can felt in peace. You covered. No one of note Lolo Holmes,
Shit
Bitsoft,
covered fat
says
fuck.
he will have to sell his gaming chair like these are. We're taking his gaming chair! Yeah! We got
Let's go.
Lanier for 2 subs.
Lanier,
Cyber
Groovy
Gooseneck.
Snakes.
Share segment. Let's go. All right,
Fucking
let's
go.
take it from the
All
top.
right.
So I'm gonna need
Thank you for the big support, guys. Guys, keep the show alive and thriving.
I've probably only got a year or two left of this streaming gig, and I can't retire, so I'm gonna need a job.
Oh,
And
no!
I guess over the next 2 years, if I continue to diet and work out, I'll get nice and swole, so I can handle myself.
Oh, it's tough. He's in no
he put his
physical
in, he put
shape
his in.
to work a job. He's a broken down,
Yeah.
crippled fuck. His knee is blown out. He can't work. It's tough, buddy.
I thought you were famous.
It's
I thought you were
over.
rich. I thought everything was
Buddy,
good.
he
We were
can't
losers.
Retire. He has no retirement savings. He's drowning in debt. He's got 2 mortgages on his home. He's having to sell all his possessions.
That's fucking.
And he's having to put in the JOB application. The scariest thing for any social media personality.
Exactly.
Holy, it's like asking a black person to read. Oh my God.
Yikes.
Okay, now, this is the craziest thing ever. They're calling it the biggest lie of all time.
Mhm.
This is Jeremy Hambly telling us about his exercise regimen. And there's going to be a whole segment tonight dedicated to Jer's imaginary diet
Oh my
and
God.
exercise routine, guys.
Remember when Ralph said he would do the same thing, and he used to like
Well-
lift a dumbbell for like
Mhm.
$20 like 3 times?
Yeah, well, JF was doing that just a short while
Oh my
ago,
God,
right?
they're all doing
Yeah.
it.
Here's the thing. Pretty much anytime someone tells you they're going to go on a fitness journey or they're going to lift weights or they're going to, fast or whatever the fuck. Pretty much every time they tell you that, they're going to fail because they're telling you that to get the dopamine so they don't actually have to accomplish the task to get the dopamine and get the reward. And we know this is certainly the case with Hambly because he's probably said this, 100 times?
Probably
minimum?
6 this year.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
this year.
And like in his career, it's constant over and over and over again. And I'll just say, like I said at the top of the program and the show promo, the issue is not what Jer's eating, although I'm sure he's eating the problem is the drinking. It doesn't matter what fantasy diet. Oh, I'm on the keto, I'm on the carnivore, I'm on the vegan. Listen, Marfuck, if you don't stop drinking 2,000 calories a day, you're never going to lose a pound, you mongoloid. And you look at his eyes. Look at his shiny eyes here.
But
He's half in the bag already. Look at his eyes, man.
Oh my God.
Are those not the eyes of a drunk?
He doesn't
Look
even
how
like
shiny they
He
are.
doesn't even look like who he is. That looks like a new, like that's wrong, bro.
Talking is really
But yeah, you're right. This whole thing of like, oh yeah, no, I swear. I'm gonna boost this audio. Hang on, let me just let me just boost these clips. Are gonna be a little bit low. 1 second, folks. Remind me to eventually turn this
Now,
off.
Remember, as
right.
we go into this clip, that it was not even 2 weeks ago that
I mean, it's
Jer
what-
blew out his knee, right?
Yeah,
And
brother,
claimed
fucking-
that he was going to have to be in a mobility scooter because he couldn't walk. He's like, oh man, you just take for granted being ambulatory. And now I can't even walk. We're 2 weeks later and listen to the fantastical claim that we're expected to believe. We'll revisit this clip in greater extended detail and context later in the show. But just listen to how implausible this lie is, okay?
By the way, he's not on a fast. He's on a.
Mm-hmm.
talking is so underrated when you're trying to trim up. It is
Oh,
so
it's
good.
overrated. It's overrated. It's over. I think had about 20,000 steps yesterday.
Pause!
Oh,
This guy was saying on his pedometer in the past that he was only getting about 300 steps a day. Okay?
20,000.
We're now meant we're now meant to believe that he went from under 1,000 steps a day to doing 20,000 steps in a day. For those of you who don't know the conversion of that, that's about 9 or 10 miles that Jer is claiming he walked on a bad knee that he's apparently still getting consultation on for surgery. He didn't even make it somewhat believable. Had he said like 2 or 3,000 steps, it still would be a lie. But at least you could be like, maybe. But these are like the lies of a child. 20,000 Mel knows it's bullshit.
10,000 for him would be like a miracle. 10,000.
Yeah.
That's what they recommend you do a day anyway, right? Come on. This is a lie.
Roughly.
Nice.
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 Why would you believe anything he says?
She doesn't.
No, she doesn't believe him. That's true.
No one does.
No, she's just being nice for the paycheck. Let's be fucking real here. Why is it full screen like this?
It's all fucked up. We're gonna have to figure it out there. But oh no, wait, hold on, go back.
No, I know.
That's
I'm just trying to figure
up.
out why the fuck this is happening
Walking
to
it.
me. This is fucking a nightmare. All right, go ahead.
So Melanie Mack decided to give Jer the advice because she knew he couldn't quit drinking because he's an alcoholic to switch to White Claws. And this was Quartering's reaction live when Mel told him he can totally drink alcohol on his diet.
Okay.
Look at him. Zoom in. Enhance. Look at this face. Look at him. He looks like the creature from the Black Lagoon, but he's literally melting, bro. He's sloth maxing from the Goonies, bro. Like, he's knocking on death's door.
Buddy, why
this
would you
guy
even want
is
to
a
drink alcohol, bro? By the way, I figured it out.
sea creature there,
we
buddy.
Go. All right, I've repaired the window.
Holy.
And then here we go.
If we bring it back a slide, we'll see Melanie responding to Camelot here. So Mel decides to cope about this for God knows what reason. She goes, I told him not drinking is ideal, but having White Claw on occasion is better than going completely off the rails and breaking ketosis. Not only that, but not everyone who quits drinking succeeds cold turkey. It's a process. And then Joey Elbows here says alcoholics have to quit cold turkey. We can't moderate. And Mel responds to this implicitly admitting that Quartering is an alcoholic by saying, great if you can, but not everyone can quit cold turkey. Hence why professional sources warn of risks of doing so and suggest tapering methods.
Wait.
So yes, go ahead, Andy.
If you're an alcoholic and you're going to taper, why bring it up online and then be shocked when people are like, whoa, he's an alcoholic? And by the way, ketosis, when you drink anything or eat anything, it reverses ketosis, you stupid bitch.
Listen,
Sorry,
this to me is crazy because for so long, Quartering and his camp have been denying that he's an alcoholic and have been like, oh, it's crazy. How dare Bering suggest that? Bering's insane saying I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Even though this guy has been a constant drunk for years, he's admitted that family members have been concerned about his alcohol consumption.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, well, he can't quit cold turkey. He has to taper off because if he stops, he's going to get delirium tremens or he's going to die. And it's like, so we're right this entire time. You guys are in just complete Copesville over there, complete denial of reality, just a sad fantasy land. This is what's crazy, though, is it's like some 1984 style brainwashing over in that camp. It's like doublethink, where simultaneously Quartering is not an alcoholic, but he also is. And Melanie has to like choose which it is, whichever is more convenient to whatever case she's making at any given time. Like it's completely. And somehow it's us that are crazy.
Yeah.
It's the detractors that are crazy.
We're lying.
And not him and his paid janitorial staff. Oh. By the way, there's not one person out there defending Quartering that's not on his payroll. or has been on his payroll in the
True.
past. And that's a fact. That's just the truth. Okay. Anyway, let's continue.
All right, let's continue the next slide here. Okay, and here we go. Here.
The cope. I love that. I had to put that in.
That's really funny.
Okay.
All right.
So Melanie Mack puts out what I can only assume. I don't know if she has no self-awareness at all, or if she actually just hates Jer and is trying to felt him. But what she says here, see this all the time in content creation. Content creators going in major debt for fancy things to look rich. I prioritize saving and investing my money instead. And boy, am I glad I did, LOL. Can't stress this enough. The key to a comfortable life is living beneath your means.
This is to Jer.
This is 100% pointed towards Jer. And what's crazy is Jer's been doubling down on this. So what he does now in every vlog, he shows the price tags of all the things that he owns, like flexing how many tens of thousands of dollars that he's wasted on useless junk. But she says better to chill and not worry about finances with less possessions than to have a Cybertruck and constantly be stressing about money.
He said Cybertruck there instead of Lambo. Yeah. There we go.
So look at the many faces of Jeremy Hambley here, brought to us by the Lake Crossva sailor. Look at him, bro. He's on death's door. Look at the dark. Look at his nose, man. Like, what's happened? Like these dark blotches.
Look at his eye here.
Oh my
It's not
God.
even
It looks
attached
like
to his
he's
face.
Yeah, it looks like he got punched in the eye by Mike Tyson or something, dude. Oh man, he's falling apart. And here's the cope. This is his cope thumbnail. It looks nothing like him. He's been given a head of hair that doesn't exist. You know, and they've dropped 200 pounds.
Even the fake head of hair, he's still balding a little bit. You know, like they couldn't do a full, like, full cope. It was a quarter cope.
Oh no.
And Mel looks as old as she is.
My God. What an AI abomination. Okay, moving on. This is a miscellaneous folder.
Okay.
So
Ooh.
now we're going to hear about Jer's finally going to have to shave it off, bro.
Let's turn.
Jer's conceding that he
Okay.
needs a fucking haircut,
We
buddy.
sound like we're on a radio show here, so let me turn this off completely. Turn off. I think we're good now.
It's true, Tooth Grinder. I don't think Jer has taken a shower in months. He
No.
looks fucking gross, man. His hair, dirty old fucking rat tail coming out the back. Holy.
He just stands in the rain and thinks it does his job.
Okay. So yeah, the air quality sucks. I've got
He's always
a haircut
complaining.
today.
Yeah, the air quality
Buddy,
sucks.
it's like
you guys should have seen in
haircut.
Toronto this week.
Oh, it's hell on earth,
Almost
buddy.
died outside. It was brutal. The fire. Oh my
To
god.
check quality sucks. I've got a haircut today to check. To look. I've got.
Take your hat off. You can't say I had a haircut and not show your hair. You have to do this, Jer. You bum.
You know?
You have to show your hair. You bum.
Oh,
Some crazy,
sweet.
like,
Oh,
I've got
no
some
mullet
crazy-
today?
No, I got to stand up in a wedding, and
Aw.
I can't just put this mess underneath a hat for that. Believe me, I tried. I asked, and I don't
Imagine
think
he
my
has
wife
to
would
go
allow
to
it.
his wife on bended knee and beg her permission to wear a hat or not.
That's
What? You're not a real man. Yeah.
Shave your head, dude.
And
It's
so
over, Jer.
I'm gonna have to get it cleaned up. So rip mullet. I was, growing it out because I was thinking about doing some hair
Jer,
transplant
it wasn't
stuff.
the mullet.
but
It was all
guess
the
you don't
hair transplant, Cole. Look at Mel. Look at how icked out Mel is at the hair transplant talk. Jer, it's over, bro. You're bald. You're broke. You don't have the money to go to Turkey. Even if you did, the airplane would not survive your rancid shit on the flight to Turkey for 22 hours, bro. He's admitted he can't fly because he's always pooping his pants. And no amount of Imodium will save him on the flight to Turkey, bro. May God have mercy on the brave souls who have to endure Jer's nightmare in the toilet at 20,000 feet on the way to Turkey.
Like snakes on a plane, but it's
Yeah.
on a plane.
Sharks on a plane.
Sharks on a plane.
Because not only, you got to imagine this flight to Turkey, not only is Jer just going to be ripping ass violently the entire time, but there's probably going to be a bunch of, may Allah forgive me, Turk roaches on this plane, bro. And you know, the Turkish people are not known for their hygiene. Holy shit. Can you imagine being the only white person on the plane?
No. Well, I
It
can
would just
because
be a
I
nightmare.
live in Toronto, so
You could,
I
you know.
I have an idea. I've been on elevators in Toronto, so
To grow it out for that.
Oh, okay.
So I can cut. Yeah, I didn't really know how the process worked.
Honestly, even if you just like down the road when you feel like you need to make it or break it, like just do the shaved head. If you just like down
No,
the road
Mel's
when you feel
telling
like
him
you
to
need to make
just
it or
shave it. Just shit. Look at his eyes, bro. Look how heartbroken. You can actually pinpoint in real time the moment when his heart rips in half, and it's exactly at this moment. Look at that, man. Oh,
break it, like do the shaved head. If you just like down the road when you feel like you need to make it or break it, like just do the shaved head thing and have a shaved head beard combo. It's always really cool.
The shaved head beard combo. The last cope of the hopeless and copeless, buddy. No! We got Jer's Stretch Trampoline for 5 subs. And we got Quarter Pounder Cube says he needs detox. He's fat. He doesn't have the strength of will to taper. And we got Gator for a sub. Keno Grove says, I will message Andy Proof right now. I just spent 2.5 hours on the treadmill to hit 21,000 steps. This did not do, bro.
Dude,
no one believes that he did 20,000.
I'll do 20 minutes after a lifting and head to the gym and be walking outside, and I'll be only at 7,000. Like
Defective Detective has a really good point here. He says Jer cried he had to walk a mile recently when he went to the hospital.
Oh yeah.
Now he walked 9 to 10 miles for fun. And we got big support. Let's go for 2,000 kicks. Says he shuffles. He can't take full steps. He's a crippled cock. You got Be Your Own IT for a sub. Melodramatic says, well. Jer really does have magical knees that grow. And the GIF says 1 Keno stream would pay for Jer's mortgage. When Jer gets foreclosed on, you should buy his compound and call it Quarterland Ranch. Satan's butt crack. Jer's the kind of guy to eat everything besides his wine.
Oh,
Cyber Kusanet says Jer segment. Let's go. Lanier for 2 subs. Okay, I think we're caught up. And Mutter Schmucker just subscribe and with 10 subs as well.
Fucking support. Let's go.
Support.
Cat's being a spurred. Over here, baby. Come on. Oh, you want to stay there? Okay, cool. All right, let's continue. Thank you for the big support.
Woo.
It's classic.
I was like 20 minutes on the treadmill. Someone in chat wrote, "Prove it, Andy." I promise you, I can walk 20 minutes on a treadmill.
It's over for you, bro. You can't even walk 20 minutes on the treadmill. I mean, I couldn't even do 20 seconds at that point then.
Prove it. Like, oh no.
Yeah, my wife's like, time to come home, Jeremy. Just
Oh, no! This is my last resort. Total devastation. Oh, man, it's over.
Home.
Welcome home. His wife tells him it's time to come home and accept that you're... Bro, that's one of the most cooked things I've ever fucking heard in my life. You just listen, it's over, Jared. You have to shave it. It's over. Come home.
Like, especially now that it's really long and wild.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just sitting in the chair and it's just like puffed out on both sides and it's like balding in the front.
No! Oh my god!
So
Look
we were
at
right.
Val! It is, bro. He has a skullet. Look at Val. This is so jokes. This is crazy. Self-felt alert. Self-felt alert.
So everything we've been saying is all true, is what he's
yes.
saying.
Well, it's always been. This the thing is, we're not even trolling anymore because it's just all true. All of it. You know, it's just like genuine, truthful criticism that hurts Jeremy's feelings. You know what I mean?
Hey, Safi, what do you want? Want to say hi? No? Okay.
Let's get some subs for Safi. Choo choo, Safi sub train. Choo choo. Woo.
He's being very loving right now. Oh, baby.
Yeah.
She's like, dude,
We've
been married
I'll bring Cloud for 20 subs.
20 years, man. Just, it's time. It's time to go. So we'll see. Once I get it cut, that may be the make or break.
That's where you'll decide.
Cut, I'll be like, this looks like,
Buddy, you have no hair on the right here, like at all.
He went from acceptance back to bargaining. You know?
Yeah.
He was this close. He was so close to just shaving the skullet and calling it a day. But he's still on the corner of Cope and Hope bargaining. No, maybe after this haircut. Sire, there's no hair left to cut. It's Costanza maxed. Let it go. Jer, let it go.
Yep. You got
we've
Elder
got
Scrolls Sky Bowl for a yap. I listened to an hour of the casino on a treadmill at a slow walk. I get about 4,500 to 5,000 steps. He's lying. Very true. Also, casino's better music at the gym. Thank you, Elder Scrolls Sky Bowl. Funny name.
Can you imagine doing bench press to this show? Like, instead of like heavy metal.
I listen to anti-woke video game news
Oh
when I'm at
my
the gym.
God.
I'm like lifting to like anti. Yeah, fuck.
Viva la Raza for 10 subs.
Let's go.
Woo! And we've got Moped Mike says PPP bought Jer's scooter for the treadmill. Work smarter, not harder, bud. And we got Mana Canton R for 1,000 kicks. Oh.
My cat was scratching. There we go. He's outside finally.
Ice Cream Bear in chat says, I'm actually supersetting buys and tries right now on my arm workout.
Let's go. A buy and try superset. Let's go.
He wrote it as buys, like BUYS, and fries, FRIES. So I'm not sure if he's like supersetting McDonald's into his blowhole or what.
Oh, I don't have the. Let me add
Is
that.
he an Owen Benjamin fan? He's calling himself a bear there. Bear tart there.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And we got Mr. Anarch for 2,000 kicks. Says, I'm about to start to use my kettlebell and exercise while watching you guys. Well, that's a little, isn't it? You're watching the guy in Warski while you squat your kettlebell, buddy? Holy money. That's gay, dude. Buddy, I never imagined so many of our viewers would lift. That's strange. Well, I imagine that a lot of them look like me. Well, either they look like me or they look like you. So it's like a 50-50. So some of them are going to the gym. Some of them are supersetting the supersize. You know?
All righty. Here we go. Let's continue, folks. Keno Grove, friend of the show, says here. What happened here?
Okay. So quartering up so bad. So he screws up his Amazon listing and posts the unedited stock photos of his box of K-Cups showing the coffee brand coffee name and zip code. But the zip code is the same as Mill Creek Roasters. Exposing that Jer gets his coffee from Mill Creek all along. This was today. So we now reset the counter. Days without an unforced error by Jer exposing his scam business. 0.
Yo, that's
0, buddy.
Wait, where did he put this on Amazon?
Yes. He fucked up, buddy. So then people, are making fun of him about his coffee scam. This guy, Meowser, goes, the quartering finally admits that Coffee Brand Coffee is drop shipped, that he lied when he claimed to roast his own beans and never purchased the expensive machine his followers paid for. You scammed your audience, Jeremy. You ever going to pay them back? Just asking questions. So Jer, in a seething, malding cope, goes, I roast my beans using the friction between me and your mom when we're totally boning. Check out coffeebrandcoffee.com to get yours today.
Good one,
Wow,
Jer.
Wow, Jer, you definitely disproved, or you didn't even deny the allegations in the post. He just impotently seemed like a baby. Because he knows it's true. He can't even argue it anymore.
Insane.
He can't even argue it anymore. And we're going to go through Alyssa Clip's edit later on where she just shows all of the contradictory clips, all of Jer's lies and deception over the years with the coffee machine. So this was earlier this week. Jer said that he'd be live at 9 a.m. Eastern and 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So much news. Well, a few hours later, I think it was 3 hours later, Jer says, couldn't sleep tonight. Probably no morning show.
At least he
canceled
realized,
the show.
Listen, I'm drunk right now. I can't do it.
He's drunk.
Here he is.
Okay, now this is such a beautiful thing for me. Personally, because this is really where the wheels fell off the Jer Express and the Feltoning went into overdrive. The moment of no return for Jer, his Waterloo moment, was AmFest. And I knew the moment that he announced the AmFest debacle, the AmFest scam fundraiser, I knew it was over for Jeremy. I knew it was going to be a gong show of epic proportions. And it certainly delivered. And Jeremy, for the last 7 months, has been coping that it was a huge success and he loved it and it went great. But here he is finally admitting what we all knew to be true about AmFest, that it was a failure and he'll never, ever, ever do it again. Let's have a listen.
Let's go. So I like how we had on vacation, right? And the minute we go on vacation for 10 days, he admits that we were right about everything daily.
Oh, yeah, he just waves the white flag. But what's crazy is he waves the white flag one day, and then the next day pretends like he never admitted it and never surrendered.
And we trolled, and we were liars, and we're making things up.
The truth is, he is the biggest liar of them all. He is actually the troll. It's the truth. It gets to the point where it would be trolling if he wasn't such a seething, malding bitch. Because he just goes from one day admitting it's all drop shipped in a scam to the next day being like, no, I never said that. I still own the factory. It's how can you do this, bro? It's so childish. It really is.
Yeah.
But here he is admitting AmFest was a failure.
Is Recording going to AmFest this year? No, I don't.
No! Yes!
Not even
Look at Mel. Look at Mel.
Maybe.
Mel's having a PTSD flashback here, isn't she?
Yeah, that was
hurt myself
the sushi
today.
bar, or was it the sushi restaurant?
Jer groped me at sushi.
Allegedly,
his breath smelled of booze, almost as bad as
this is what Jer sees himself as in his mind.
Oh man! Oh, it's total defeat. And you can have it all. My sad booth, free coffee samples.
Wow.
It was fun, but a one-time thing.
It was a lot of work.
Oh, she knows it wasn't fun.
Yeah, fun.
It
I'm
was not
sure.
fun.
I'm sure it was.
So, just so everybody remembers what happened, Jer, supposed multi-millionaire business mogul, had to get down on his hands and knees and beg his audience for $10,000 to go to AmFest, of which he could only raise $2,000. And then apparently 2 Jewish Canadian donors gave him $8,000 so that he could afford the equipment.
Not us.
Mind you, yeah. But he claimed I'm not kidding. This is the official story from Jared.
It's funny because it's like Jewish Canadian.
Was it 14,000? It doesn't matter. But 2 Jewish Canadian donators gave him the rest of the money to do this. Now, mind you, he already claimed before he even raised the money that he had already paid for the hotel rooms, paid for the equipment, paid for all this stuff. So why did he need the money? But then after he raised the money, he's like, well, I haven't done this. I haven't done this yet. He promised he would do catering. And of course, if that never happened, there was no salmon pinwheels, no justice, no peace. He ate all the salmon pinwheels, motherfucker. The biggest scam of all, though, from AmFest, he promised everybody there would be an AmFest Christmas card. Remember? Remember, folks, the AmFest Christmas card? He said that he would sign it, Luke would sign it, Mel would sign it, and Hannah Claire would sign this Christmas card. And it would go out to everybody by Christmas. He scammed everybody. There was no Christmas card. The Christmas card became a Valentine's Day card that was signed by none of the crew other than Jer. And all like 10 people that donated were completely scammed.
It was Christmas,
now,
then a New Year's card, then an Easter card.
Now,
No, Valentine's Day, and then Easter.
Oh, come on. No, you're gilding the lily. You're gilding the lily. It was a Valentine's Day card.
He
It felt
made
like that, though.
Christmas, and then he made it an Easter card, right? Remember he changed the holiday it was?
Well, I think it was about, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The
Yes,
biggest
it was Valentine's
scam.
Day. It was Valentine's Day,
The biggest scam of all, though, was that Jeremy promised people from the beginning that he had been invited by TPUSA to be on Media Row, to be next to where the Daily Wire was, where Russell Brand was with Rumble, all of these sets, right? That he had been promised like a good deal on getting real estate right on Media Row. It was a total lie. What he actually was on the convention floor, aka Grifters Row, with all the 2-bit shysters selling Charlie Kirk embezzled jackets and shit like this. You know what I mean? And he was actually the lowest of the low on Grifters Row. In front of the emergency exit door was his table, if you remember, where he got pressed by security. And remember he was next to Gays for Groomers?
Yeah.
That was the table next
He's like,
to
we're
him,
having
bro.
Gays for Groomers on, and we're like, what?
He promised that he would have Russell Brand on, Benny Johnson on, all of these guests. He didn't get any of these guests. I think he said he was going to get Donald Trump Jr. He was going to get Don Jr.
He did say that.
He said this. None of this happened.
Jack
It was-
Posobiec.
Yes, he said he was going to have Jack Posobiec, all of these names.
And then he tried exposing Jack 2 months later for
Yes.
like some
Yes. So
weird shit.
even though he begged Jack to show up to his interview, remember? He then months later said, oh, he saw Jack with like members of the Nexium cult doing weird at a party. And then it's like, okay, so he was doing this weird, but you still his balls and invited him on anyway? Right. So if you remember, the entire event, live stream technical disasters, just total gong show. Everybody was at each other's throats. They were all bullying Luke, fighting amongst each other, totally
Lauren
awkward.
Southern
Total
felted him,
disaster.
remember?
Yes, Lauren Southern confronted him. And this is the thing is, more stories have come out since then, like the Lauren Southern expose of what happened at AmFest. And what's crazy is years down the line, we're going to hear more and more. It's going to be like Knoxville or Charlottesville, one of these events steeped in lore and legend, where the truth trickles out slowly over time, the true extent of the disaster. What truly happened at Sushi, what truly happened at the steakhouse when Jer forced Luke to pay even though he was broke as a joke. What they spike Luke's drink
I
with.
left my wallet in the
know?
hotel room. Like, poor Luke, bud. Is he okay? Is Luke
I think
making
he's
it?
doing, honestly, way better than any of these bozos.
Good. Because he was actually trying in some way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Oh, he was on Tim Pool. He was on Tim Pool's like a bunch. Yeah.
Lot of
Fun
work.
though.
Yeah, if Melanie didn't fly in early, I would have just canceled the whole thing.
So
What?
I love how the only reason why he did the event, it wasn't to network with other conservative influencers. It wasn't for content for the fans, to do interviews, to get information out that was important or promote conservative causes. It wasn't for Luke. It wasn't for Hannah Claire. It was also he could perv on Melanie Mack. And he's just straight up admitting that if it wasn't for Mel getting there when she did, he would have just canceled the whole event. But Jer is such a broke bum, bro, that not only did he have to beg for money just to get there, but he couldn't hire an assistant to schlep his and set it up for him. Everybody else that was at that event, and by the way, like these conventions typically have staffers that will do this for you. They've been hired to move your shit in. But not one of these staffers would move Jer shit in. They worked for everybody else, but not Jer. Everybody there hated him. Nobody wanted anything to do with him. It was a complete and utter embarrassment.
That's
My rear end was trying to bring in. You saw how much it was a full cart
Costs a lot.
full of stuff, plus all the coffee samples.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't know if you mentioned this, sorry, in your entire explanation, but did you explain how he raised money for the mics, but then
Yes.
said he already had the mics, but then he
Yes.
didn't have them? It was like it kept
It was
switching.
insane. And
It was
now
like-
apparently there's 4 microphones that are just sitting in storage permanently. It's like, why couldn't people bring their own microphones? Why was there
But there was
single-use
so
microphones?
much, I was like trying to think and remember, like while you were explaining, so I sort of
And then
That's
he
fucking
claimed that he
crazy.
spent, I think, $3,000. Was it 1,500 or $3,000? Something like this. On the backdrop that said the quartering that you could barely even see.
Yeah.
And the production was a total disaster.
buddy, yeah.
And there was like no way to load and unload. So here I am just like, I have
Way to load and unload. Take 2 trips. I just saw that from chat.
But like,
yeah.
could he not either pay for the guys that were there, hire somebody to come and move his stuff? Like, this is supposedly the most successful and rich man in the conservative space. That's his claim, is that he's richer than everybody else, but he can't pay somebody $100 a day to schlep his
Yeah,
What
exactly.
the
had a friend of mine in a pickup truck or a delivery truck come and just double park so we
Yeah.
could unload everything. I just had this like wobbly cart and I had to take it like in an elevator.
They gave him a broken
What?
cart. They gave him
They just with him. They gave him the one cart that was busted. Everybody else, this is
the wheel.
shaking.
The wheel is
I
like
can't
vibrating.
move it.
One of the-
One with 3 wheels. Oh my god.
And then all the way down, and then oh my god, it was the absolute. It was worth it. It was a lot of fun.
Was it? Then why aren't you
was
doing it
it?
again? Was it?
worth
Because
it?
I think it was the beginning of the end for his entire online presence and career. Like, I think
Mhm.
that was it. After that, it's been just disastrous. Has it not?
Beyond.
But I probably would. Well, I'll put it this way: I would go, but I wouldn't do booth again.
Mhm.
I wouldn't do like live from Amfest again because that was a lot of equipment.
So we were
Why
so
would
we
you
were right
go?
all along that it was always destined to be a disaster. And I'll tell you why I knew it was going to be a disaster. Have you ever seen a single one of these influencers? Remember when they used to go to E3?
Yes.
Was it not always the worst coverage of all time?
Angry Joe's?
yes.
E3 coverage?
Angry Joe E3 coverage or Spoonie E3 coverage. It was always the worst ever.
Audio, worst
Anytime-
camera, worst whatever. Like it was terrible.
Anytime anybody goes to a convention and tries to do an interview or tries to do a panel, it's always super awkward, super cringe, and just a massive waste of time. And that's even in the best of circumstances with people who are actually talented or charismatic,
Yeah.
let alone these 4 clueless bozos who had no chemistry and didn't know their ass from their elbow, managed by this incompetent buffoon who just thinks if you throw money at it will magically solve the problem, but yet is too cheap bum to actually pay to have somebody move in his It's just insane. It's total clown shoes.
And a lot of, I would meet people, I would hang out, I would go to the speeches. It was like at the end of the day, I was so tired, I didn't even want to go to any of the speeches. It was like by the time we were done at 5 o'clock.
Well, it's because you're fat.
Like, oh, Tucker's talking now. I'm like, Tucker Schmucker, we're going to eat some bone marrow and have a drink and go to bed.
Go to bed.
Wow. Whoa. Definitely worth the fans' money, wasn't it? They definitely got their money. It was such a fucking waste. Okay, let's have a listen to this.
All right.
We're live Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Everyone knows.
Exclusively.
Why does he say that?
Can you imagine, if every single show was like, we're here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday
in between
at
every segment.
By the way, guys,
8:30 Friday.
It's in the description. If people want to know, they'll check the description. There's just so little faith in the intelligence of his audience, which I guess I understand, because if you actually take quartering serious or buy into anything he says, you probably are completely right. So he is right to be like, okay, here comes the airplane. The schedule for the show is 2:30 p.m.
Oh, yep.
On Rumble. So make sure you come over to Rumble, download the Rumble app. It's free. Everything's free. It's a free speech platform. Do all that kind of stuff.
Free.
So
It's free. Everything like YouTube and Kick is all for everything. Yeah, we know.
I think the only platform that isn't is Vimeo.
Exactly.
It's what is the selling point is you don't have to pay. But it's isn't the whole point to make them pay? It's just a weird mentality. It's hey guys, no, it's all free. No, give me some. Let's get some subs. Fuck, let's get some kicks. What sort of a business mentality is this? And he's begging people, please watch it. It's free. Fuck, I'll pay. At one point, this bum last February, I think it was actually paying people to watch his show. Remember the promo he cut?
Oh my God,
goes,
the PlayStation
have you ever
card?
Thought, yes. Remember, he goes, have you ever thought you should get paid to watch the quartering show? Yes, and thank God I actually do, or I wouldn't, But it's yes, for the audience, they should be paid to watch this fucking hostage situation. It's you can get a free PlayStation 5 in this raffle, Nintendo Switch gift card.
Fully against TOS, by the way. You can't do that.
It was against the law. He was running an illegal lottery and shit like this, And he spent thousands of dollars on this, allegedly, because I don't know of anybody who actually got any of this shit, but apparently they did. Thousands of dollars to his. At that time, he claimed to have 70,000 live viewers. So he was claiming to be on the level of Dr. Disrespect at his peak. Ninja, it's crazy, level of streamers, and had no viewership, no money coming in. It was a total failure. Anyway, let's continue.
Oh my God.
We got Last of the Bulgarians for 5 subs. We've got Sigmatius says, for a quartering movie, you guys should recreate the Walmart shark sequence and bring Venti on his car.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Now, that was definitely a part. What? Venti did?
It's called Brit Scrub Brit or something. And she actually released that, but look at that. That's a few hours ago, by the way.
Yeah, I saw it. That's crazy when it.
But yeah, she released the coffee scrub and a free sticker that says, "Hope you had a great weekend."
But yeah, if we do the quartering movie, it's already in there. We're definitely doing the Walmart, Sharton Mart recreation. We're going to have to go to a real Walmart and fucking have the pudding trickling down my leg onto the fucking floor.
CGI.
We're going to definitely destroy that
IRL?
Walmart. Yeah.
Fine. We'll go a few cities away.
Yeah.
And we'll just go and fell the whole Walmart and get banned.
No, that's 100%. That's 100% what we're doing. Yeah. If we are doing it. We got Liquid Dave for 2,000 kicks.
Thank you.
Cheers to Daniel Larson's freedom. All hail the return of the true president. Here's the problem, though, right? Like, I was going to cover this, but we're never going to see him stream again.
No.
Because his deal for freedom, his like probation officer, like it monitors his phone remotely at all times, has access to all of his accounts. Like,
smart.
Well, it has to be. They're making him work. Like, he has to work a job. I don't know how that's going to work. It's more of a punishment on the employer than on him. Like, I'm not really sure what job he's going to be able to do. I kind of think he should have just been institutionalized for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, right? It's like going back to the top of the show with Ralph, like the human excrement, the fucking, fentanyl scarecrow. Just no one wants to deal with Daniel Larson. So like, even like the correctional facilities are like, let's get this guy the fuck out of here. He's a waste of resources, waste of time.
Yeah.
And it's just tough. Like, there's just some people that are just totally fucked, and we have no idea what to do with them in society, and nobody even wants to waste the money to fucking put them in an institution. So I don't know.
That's pretty crazy. Anything else? We're good? Okay, cool. Let's continue, folks.
A Morgan Wallen concert. I don't know, did you see this floating around X at all?
I didn't. Are we going to have another Coldplay situation?
No, not a Coldplay situation. More of a warm leg situation.
Oh.
So they're at a Morgan Wallen concert. And
so once again, this is Jer's fetish, isn't it?
Did you grab this, or did someone else screen grab this?
This?
Yeah.
Somebody else did. I think this was...
Look at that. Because whoever did disliked the video also.
Yeah, I know. It's so petty. It's so petty. I think it was either Kino Grove or Hotep did this clip.
I find that pretty funny.
But this is Jer's fetish once again of like talking about bathroom related accidents and bathroom related activities with these women and watching their reaction. He's just a sick person.
That's twisted.
And somebody peed on them.
What?
Yeah.
Did you go to the Morgan Wallen concert?
Hey. Oh, Felton alert! Felton alert!
She's like, no, Mel, that's shit. When someone shits on somebody else.
Just turned full fucking detractor. Just snakes here. That's two, Melanie. Come on. Come on.
As much as me, I make it. Look,
you've been drinking a lot of water.
Yeah.
You
gotta just like give up on it. I understand.
Yeah. He's drinking lots of water.
You just kind of let it go and accept your fate.
Did he piss himself?
The Walmart story.
What? You just accept your fate that you're pissing your pants? Like, no?
It's not adding.
Oh my God.
He's so gross, bro.
Add to stage. Why is it not adding?
Oh no. I see it on the bottom a little bit.
I see it on the bottom too. Yeah, let me refresh.
Hey guys. He's gone. Hey guys. Wow, my bosses are nice.
On people at Morgan Wallen concerts. But if you on people in a Green Day concert, they might like it. I'm not suggesting it though.
Because they're liberals, get it?
And the comedic stylings of Melanie Mac, everyone. Wow. Nice. Awesome.
But, yeah. He's coming back. There you are.
She was so desperate. Like, it's like a drowning man. Just flailing. Help! I can't entertain anybody. I can't hold an audience to save my life. Oh, someone else. Like, who the f are these people to think that they're entitled to be entertainers and make millions of dollars when they can't even hold a microphone for 20 seconds?
Like,
I'm not even kidding, right? Like, who the f are these people? It's just insane, the level of entitlement that they have, the level of delusion that they have.
$1 million for being lame and and talentless.
Well, this is the thing, right? Like, Mel can't live off killing what she eats. Like, if she was forced to actually earn revenue to survive, she couldn't do it.
No.
The only reason she's even afloat is because Jer pays her a massively overinflated salary and loses a money every single month. Like, it's insane. And this is the only reason Jer had anything to begin with on Rumble or live streaming was because he was subsidized by Rumble. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a show that can actually survive in the free market. This is not a show that actually has fans or support in any way. And it's just really disgusting to me to see people butcher this profession this badly. You know what I mean? It's like
it's not even like boring or it's like nothing. She has nothing. It's like nothing. You can't even like be boring and say a thing, like your thoughts. There's no thoughts.
Just start talking about anything. Anything. You're going to see it on Jer's show today, his Monday show. The opening of this show is probably the worst opening to any Jeremy show I've ever seen. And that's really saying something.
How?
Bro, you're going to see. Okay. And it's like, bro, can you not just talk about anything? Like, this is what blows me away is like, when I start the show, right? I start talking about the things that are going to happen on the show.
Yep.
Why can't Jer, instead of having all this dead air and bullshit while he's trying to figure out the tech on the show, which should have been figured out before the show, okay? Why can't he just talk about the story? So, guys, you're going to see this story about the Muslim attack. You're going to see this story about JD Vance. You're going to see this story. Here's these woke Odyssey. Why? Why can't you do that? Well, it's just like the bare, but it's the bare minimum of broadcasting.
You're talking
and
about.
It disgusts me to my core that these people show up every day with their hand out, expecting money, and they deliver so little to the audience. They deliver nothing.
It's negative. And by the way, you and I also will like, hey, did you see this movie or this game or this thing that happened that's not even on the show? And we could kill in half an hour talking about a non-subject.
It's literally the easiest job in the world.
Yeah, if you could talk.
Yeah.
If you could talk. And they can't talk. Why are they in this? I don't know.
All right, let's see if that fixed it. Yay. Yeah, it did. Okay. So a man in
Holy. All right, let's continue. All right.
I'm going out of town. I have a surgery consult and stuff for my knee, and then I have.
So this is just a total lie. So we're talking about surgery consults for the knee, but you read your medical results live on air. There were no tears in your knee. There was no need for
steps.
You know what I mean? But it can't both be true that you're going for a consult for knee surgery, but you're walking 20,000 steps and it's no big deal at all. When previously you were walking under 1,000 steps a day.
What the fuck?
It's just childish lies. Like, I swear to God, a 10-year-old lies better than this. It's just crazy. Like, I think in Jer's mind, it's similar to Phil, like the Phil mentality, is they believe that only what they're saying in the present, in the right now matters. And what they've said in the past and what they're going to say in the future do not matter at all. And even if all three, past, present, and future, are completely contradictory, as in they can't possibly all coexist and be true, it doesn't matter. Because at the time they said it, it was all true because it was whatever he needed to be true at the given time. That's just so... And it just has to be from low IQ. Like, it has to be from being legitimately so that you have no concept of like past, what you've said in the past, what you're going to have to say in the future. Like, it's just brain brokenness from this guy.
Trip to do. I'm bringing like 4 of these and I'm just going to put electrolytes in it ahead of time. So I'm just, I have it. 2-hour drive. Should probably bring a bottle. I don't know, but we'll see.
Why do we have to hear any of this bottle?
It's just constant bathroom stuff to try and get a reaction out of Mel that he can goon to. That's what this is. This is his fetish. Over and over and over again. You talking about pissing in bottles to a woman? The is wrong? Even amongst the boys, like in your 20s, pissing in bottles is frowned upon. You know what I mean? It's like, listen, you shouldn't be pissing in bottles, okay? Don't do that.
Well, 2-hour drive. Can you stop by a McDonald's on the way? You know what I mean? He's gonna piss.
Fuck, man, it's shameful. Don't talk about pissing in bottles. Openly,
yeah, but that said, yeah, nicotine is an upper, yeah, and a hunger suppressant, yeah. It's a weird habit to start at 43.
So now his cope for why he has to be on the Zins and the nicotine is appetite suppressant. How about it's just because you like nicotine? Just stop coping and stop lying. And look at Mel. She knows it's all. She knows he's never going to quit any of this stuff. I don't know why he thinks he's fooling any of us. How about this, Jer? How about you just quit all of it? Don't tell us you quit. Just quit. Don't tell us you're going to lose weight. Just lose weight.
Just do it. Prove it.
Just take care of yourself. The results will be self-evident. Mm-hmm. Other people will say it for you. And it's better for other people to say it for you than for you to say it yourself, you stupid. But it's just this childlike mentality. Well, we got Don Flurgandy for 5,000 kicks.
Buddy, 1,400 watching the other night. He had 1,400 watching. He's killing it.
I swear he's been over 2,000 a few
times. 1,400 plus whatever kick is. So it's like a double. Yes. It's like over 2,000. Congrats, bro. Love your show. I was watching it while I was working on some stuff on Unreal. So keep it up, buddy.
Quit smoking. And then I started it for the upper effect of it. Not because I miss.
Whoa. These Zins.
Look at Mel's disgust.
These Zins were started years ago before the appetite. Stop lying.
But look at the ick. Look at the ick on Mel. Zoom in.
Ooh.
Zoom in. Oh, that's the ick. She's disgusted by Jeremy. His sick gooner coomer mindset.
That's a dry veg right there, folks. Thanks again, Don, man. Appreciate you.
We're saying they want the sticker.
Okay, let's go back.
Let's bring it back. Let's get this side eye. Let's see some subs for the Melanie Mac icked out sticker.
That's the one.
There it is. We got Bloodcoffer.
The one.
Says, I'm convinced Jer got this story from Tucker Max like 20 years ago and keeps dropping it, expecting it to hit the same universally in current year.
Tucker. Remember Tucker Max?
Oh, yeah.
They don't serve beer in hell, and he lied about all his stories.
Bro, that guy's book, it's.
Did you hear the Opie and Anthony where they literally started asking him?
No, I've never watched it.
So they pressed him on some of the questions. Go, wait, so you lost the video of that? It'd be crazy if you had it, huh? He's like, yeah, I just lost it. They're like, did you now? And they just kept pressing him slowly. And then now he's like a religious preacher. Did you see this?
Really?
He's like a religious preacher now, yeah.
So he decided to go into the ultimate grift.
Yeah, he did.
And we got Aurelius says Mel would be better off without Johnny. His AIDS medication is expensive. I guess I'm off camera, but
yeah, sorry. I'm just
Lawbreaker for a sub. And then we've got here Ramsos85 for 10 subs.
Big support.
The camera has been off the whole time.
Sheesh. No, I had to open up Photoshop and it shut him down for a second. All right, I'm making the Mel sticker right. I miss making stickers, folks. Big support.
Sneeden says Mr. Obvious is one of the most bums of all time. Do you know he's a homosexual? He's just a straight up homosexual. But then he tries to pretend like he's our. I made one video exposing Mr. Obvious 6 years ago. I think I called it Mr. Obvious is obviously something like this. And it was like a 10-minute rant video where I'm just like, you guys know this guy's gay, right? And he's trying to present himself as this conservative. He's like an admitted homosexual or bisexual or whatever. He flagged that video down off YouTube, that he is. I think he's one of the first people, other than Gator, who flagged my videos. And I haven't even thought about this guy in years. But out of the blue, I think I saw him in my DM, sent me this fucking essay about how Kiwi Farms is stalking his family and is going to kill his cat and shit. I'm like, I don't think they're going to kill your cat, bro. So I don't fucking.
But
Anyway.
it's called Mel Oof Face. Mel Oof Face. All right. You ready, buddy? Or is there anything else? Yep, we're good. Okay, cool.
Smoking.
Right.
But up your fat intake. No, I'm eating in a gigantic ribeye every night.
Yeah, I think
There's plenty of fat in that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you don't.
So
I don't
in
believe
Jared's
a
mind, by
fucking
the way,
word, bro.
he's made this massive dietary change by eating 3 ribeye steaks a day and bacon. It's like, that's probably what you were fucking eating anyway. You know what I mean?
That
It's like,
alcohol?
this is what I'm saying. It's like, bro, and
Well,
this
I
is the
almost said the
thing,
N-word
right?
there.
Is
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
crazy.
like,
Oh my god.
so, but it's always these like meme diets, this extreme nonsense where it's like, all I'm gonna do is eat meat, bro, and I'm gonna, it's never like I'm gonna eat at a caloric deficit and do moderate exercise, because it's not like this sexy thing to grift off of. He should honestly just listen to his doctor. In fact, the God's honest truth for Jer is he should just go on Ozempic and be done with it.
Exactly.
But the thing is, that won't even help him because his problem isn't even truly the eating. It's the drinking, bro. This is never going anywhere.
Like if you're feeling like super low energy, then having some more fats will help. But
That's why I got the bacon too.
You're good. Yeah, the
Like,
bacon and the ribeyes. I think you're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about like micronutrients of like fat and like
but here's the
carbs
thing,
and this shit. It's like,
when you hear someone talk about like fitness, at least be 6 months into your fucking journey.
yes,
I don't want to hear the first week about you quitting smoking or you
so
working
like,
out.
He's talking about all this weight he lost this week, right? It's like, how about you do weigh-ins then for us?
Yeah,
Tubbs?
prove it then. Prove it.
Prove that you're losing this weight. Like, show us you working out. Show us you doing this stuff. If you're gonna talk about it and you want us all to pat you on the ass for it, it's just like, just stop lying. Like, nobody believes you, bro.
Show a fitness app. Why is it?
Your brain gets used to it. I fall asleep with a nicotine pouch, and I have done that as well too.
What?
He fell asleep. That's degenerate. Because he must have been.
Or the Zyn?
No, the Zyn in his mouth. He gets blackout drunk with a Zyn in his mouth and falls asleep. It gets worse, Andy. Listen to how disgusting this is.
Don't tell me he.
Wow.
I have done that as well. I've woken up with them in my hair. Like,
what?
Zyn to bed?
Stuck in his hair, and it's like in his dirty, unfucking washed, matted, sculled hair, stinking.
That's
saliva,
hinged, bro.
Oh my god, it's nasty, dude.
Why are you heading to bed with a Zyn? Buy a vape like normal people and just go before bed. Don't you put a Zyn and you fall asleep with it in your mouth? Are you insane? Isn't that cancer for your gums, bro? Like, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
That's funny.
Is he married? Yeah, I don't think they sleep.
Yeah,
No,
imagine,
they don't sleep in the same bed.
Like, imagine though that they do. And Heather wakes up probably like right at the crack of like 5, 6 in the morning. Jer probably wakes up at this point. Mm-hmm. She just looks over and just sees her husband with dirty old Zins in his hair. And she just shakes her head like, only a year and a half left until I can divorce him for the rest of my life.
Well, he's not going to have anything then, so.
We got Misty Mochi for 2,000 kicks. Says, imagine taking diet advice from someone who eats whole sticks of butter. Welcome back. Well, Mel went to the hospital because apparently the only thing she was fucking eating was sticks of butter, which like my blood is probably mostly butter and I wouldn't even do that shit. You know what I mean? Like, holy fuck.
Yeah. But let's talk about, I have this story. We got a couple of kind of Bruce Almighty level stories. There's not like a lot of huge news today.
Yeah.
Bruce
But,
Almighty
this one
stories.
is-
What does that mean?
Wait, Bruce.
Like the stories about people becoming God? Like what? What? I don't even know. What did he mean by
It's
that?
about the movie itself. He's going to do
okay.
a retrospective.
So this was a comment on Jared's most recent vlog about the air show.
Ooh.
And he says, you have the EAA air show in the books. Does that mean we get a Bristol Renaissance Fair vlog next? And Jared says, yes, it does. So Jared is promising us that tomorrow, on Tuesday, we're going to get a video of him at the Bristol Renaissance Fair. Now, I so doubt that this is fucking happening. I'm going to tell you why. Not only do we have the emails from the Renaissance Fair saying he's banned, but we have firsthand on the ground knowledge that the policies on the Renaissance Fair, at the Renaissance Fair rather, have changed. Lalo, Grace Thorpe went to the Bristol Renaissance Fair and they tried to IRL stream, which previously was allowed, but they were told no, like immediately within like 20 minutes, they were kicked the out. You can't film here. You can't live stream here anymore. And that's because of Hambly. 100%.
Wow.
So
really?
I refuse to believe that this is a real thing that he's allowed at the Bristol Renaissance Fair.
Whoa.
Now he can prove us wrong, but Lalo and Grace were just kicked out yesterday
For
from the
streaming,
Fair.
regular streaming, right? It was
Yeah,
not,
they
not
weren't even
anything-
doing anything. They were just sitting there eating, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe an A-log phoned in and said that they have a bomb or some fucking.
I don't think so. I don't think
Damn.
so.
Okay.
Oh.
Bye. All right. Here we
Okay.
go. Let's continue. Okay, we got.
This is interesting. So I discovered this. This is a coffee brand coffee commercial from 2022 starring Amaranth
stuff.
that I guess Jer paid Amaranth to do this advertisement for him.
Yo!
Get ready for the twisted mind of Jeremy Hambly. How he came up with this shit, I have no fucking clue. He probably emptied his whole bank account for this one, bud.
Oh, shit. By the way, he had no live streaming or audio recording at the Renaissance Fair, apparently. Wow.
ASMR.
What?
So it's an ASMR coffee brand coffee
ASMR.
commercial. Look how this is. It's like AI before AI. Okay, this reminds me of the Stone Toss comic, doesn't it? Are you sure this is going to help us sell coffee? Coffee?
She didn't do this for Jared, did she?
Did he steal it? Like, what's happening here?
Did he just steal her video and then, like, threw in coffee beans at the
Jared's such a greasy tuner, buddy.
No way. Okay.
What are we looking at here? Oh my god. Okay.
What the
Isn't that just... I gotta ask though, who is jerking off to that? In all seriousness though, like who's actually beating their meat to that and thinking it's like hot? That's gross, man.
Press
Like,
1 if you would jack off to that. Press 2 if you would not jack
Meme
off to that.
Copium says it's vile. Yeah,
Well, yeah.
so.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's some ones in chat, but mostly twos. That's crazy though. There's some
All right,
ones.
we got Predon Corpse for 2 subs. Ketchup
Thank
Packet
you.
says, hate to join the company of Jer, but I've fallen asleep with a zin in my mouth once before. It does, in fact, burn a hole in your gums.
Well, yeah,
we got
of course it
Quarterless
does.
for 10 subs.
Big support. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, burn a hole in your gums. Yeah. All right, cool. We're ready. That commercial was crazy. I'm pretty sure it's all just stolen. Or he
Yes.
at least messaged her and goes, remember when he interviewed her? He'd be like, do you mind if I just steal one of your AS and make a commercial out of it? I bet you yes. She's like, yeah, whatever. Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to have
Monday.
a look at Jer's show from today. So it just starts as Jer's show typically does. He's just completely deer in headlights. Doesn't have a clue what's going on. No energy, no enthusiasm, just a big old frown on his face. And he's wearing, worst of all, a hat with a turtle on it because he's slow. He's slow in the mind. Yeah. He's slow of speech. You know, he's Jeb maxing.
Is he the
low
only
energy
guy
Jer
who wears a trucker hat still? What is this, 2003? Yeah. When was Punk'd out?
It's all just performative, though, because he thinks it's like, oh, this is what like a masculine man wears. Yep. Like, it's so cringe.
Yep.
Hello, everybody. Okay, well, I had to do some live.
God, sir, how do you start a show like this? Like, you should be ashamed. Like, you actually should just hang your head in shame and call it a day. You're not a live streamer. You never will be. You don't have any talent. You have no ability at this whatsoever. And even the one side of this that you should know, which is the tech side and the production side, after doing it for, 10 years, he still can't even figure that out. But yet this will try and pretend that he's just leagues above everybody else. His shit doesn't stink. He's the most talented. He can't be questioned. He's this big dog. And it's just shameful. And that's why I'll never let this go, because this guy is a bum. He's a talentless hack. And I want him on his knees admitting that he's a talentless bum before he off forever. I hate this. I hate him with a passion. How this guy can show up and expect by putting in this little amount of effort with this little amount of talent to make millions of dollars a year, it's disgusting. Him.
Okay, well, I had to do some live troubleshooting there. The software I used to stream just completely failed. And
no, you failed. The software didn't fail. You failed, bro. Like, what is it? Is it the tools have failed every single time? Or is it that the carpenter is a mouth drooling? You know what I mean? Like, look at him. Look at how clueless he is right now. Look in his eyes.
Yeah,
he has no idea. Idea what's going on.
What's the tech issue? What's the tech issue?
I don't know. His OBS isn't working.
But we see you, so just wait. Like, just do it secretly.
This is every stream. Every stream is like this, you know, or at least 4 out of every 5 streams are like this.
I would say 9 out of every 10.
Yeah, really. Pretty much. Much.
All right, let's continue.
Uh-oh.
What do you mean, uh-oh?
What's the fucking hard part
Did he just shit his pants? Uh-oh. And then he just looks down at his dirty, cropped, soiled fucking briefs and cries.
I get the occasional glitch where you go,
I'm sorry, but
whoops, or something like that, right?
You're 45 years old. Like, you shouldn't go, uh-oh. Like, you're fucking 40. Uh-oh. Like, it's so pathetic.
Uh-oh.
Emergency alert.
Okay, Dookie, boom, boom. It's like this. Is like he shit himself. That's what he's saying here.
We got pleasantly plump PPP for 5 subs.
Let's get 1,000 subs right now. Thank you so much.
Severe. Nathan Wudgel Weather Service.
A pleasantly
severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Alert. Severe.
So now we're getting 30 seconds into the show a mumble weather report from Mr. Hambly of his local weather that a tornado is heading directly for his house and he's going to die.
I hope.
Let's go!
It's Twister.
Weather Service. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect till 2:30 p.m. Take shelter in a sturdy.
Why would you read that?
You know what I mean?
Why would you read that, dude?
Building away from windows. Flying debris may be deadly. Great!
Like he acts like he's gonna that shut up.
What a spastic. Well, he actually starts grifting off of it, saying that he needs money before he's gonna die for his what? Like he actually does. He's like, if I die on this stream, guys, please buy the coffee so my wife has something. It's like, are you okay?
Funny, dude. That's funny.
Neat.
Aussie Metal Mate has just subscribed.
Like,
Thank you.
This amount of dead air is fucking sickening.
Yeah.
Why can't he just start talking about Zoran Mabdami being a communist and the grocery? Like, just start like unloading a rant. Just start screaming at Candace Owens or
black
us,
people
or, you know what I mean? Like, why can't you do anything?
Or Xbox, right? Halo made the person black.
This is the thing, Dr. Retardo. Yeah, he has no passion to rant. He has no actual sincere beliefs. He has no thoughts. There's no takes that he actually has. So it's like sometimes I come on and I'm just chomping at the bit. Like, I want to say this. I want to say this. I want to say this. I have so much to say. Sometimes I forget all the shit I wanted to say. You know what I mean? Because I really want to say it, you know?
Or we have to save for the next show. Yeah.
This bum's head is empty. He's completely thoughtless. He's just a total blank slate grift. And the only things that he says are just whatever he sees on Twitter. That's it. Oh, there's a take on Twitter. Let me copy this take on Twitter, guys. Oh, see, I'm saying the things you want to hear, guys. Give me money. That's all that this is. Yep. He's not somebody that actually shapes the discourse, influences opinions in any way. He's just somebody that regurgitates what he thinks the popular opinion is going to be of a particular subculture on the internet and pretends to be that subculture. He attaches himself. This is what Coach Red Pill said. He attaches himself to these communities like a lamprey, like a sucker fish, and he bleeds them dry. But he's nothing but a poser and a grifter and a shill and a fraud. And he needs to be cast out. Nobody ever has had any respect for Jeremy Hambly, nor will they ever have any respect for Jeremy Hambly. He's never made one friend in this space. He's never, ever, ever, ever had the respect of his peers or anybody for that matter. And that's why, by the way, when we started felting Jer and he had his big downfall from flagging our channel down, not one person came to Jeremy's defense over his 10-year career of grifting and all of his networking and his associates. Everybody hated him. They always hated him. And he thought, he's so delusional, he's such a narcissist, that everybody worshiped the ground that he walked on and that everybody would come to his side and say that he was right to flag us down. That's what he really thought would happen. That's how in the head he is.
Hey, I thought, by May, what is it, May 2nd?
Oh, May 4th.
Well,
it's currently the 28th of July. It hasn't blown over. The guy's contemplating having to get a real job and give up on this because it's just not worth it. His live stream loses money. It's a waste of time. It's garbage. And his videos, it's not making what it needs to make for him to pay for the lavish lifestyle that he feels that he's entitled to. It was not enough for this guy to have a paid off $500,000 home. No, he needed to have the $2 million mansion custom built to his specifications with multiple cars in the driveway and the Rolex watches and the airplanes. Nothing is ever enough for this guy who just has no talent whatsoever, but thinks that he's this marketing savant, this marketing guru, because he knew how to put keywords and tags on YouTube. That's seriously what this actually believes.
I had to just completely reinstall my software. Am I coming through okay?
Yes! Do you not see your OBS, the bars that move up and down?
You guys can hear me okay?
Unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can't hear you because it's just dead air. Yes,
check.
Because you're not saying shit. And the reason it feels quiet because there's no one watching. There's nobody in chat. This guy, apparently, had 4,000 live viewers. I tuned in 4,000 live viewers. He's on the Rumble homepage, and he was getting in his chat one message every 90 seconds or so. I was on a call with Andy doing the promo. I'm watching it on this monitor as I'm doing the promo with Andy earlier. During 6 minutes of the promo, I counted. There was like 5 messages. That's it. That was it. And he wants to pretend like there's thousands of live. There's nobody watching.
It was one message a minute, is what Ash said. 4,000 watching, one message a minute. Stop it. Stop it.
Feels quiet.
Our chat is like unrateable sometimes. Like it's actually just like brrrr.
But check. Yeah, it feels kind of quiet, but
okay, by the way, so what he's saying here about being quiet. So I forgot. I had to boost the audio like 12 decibels because this was so deathly quiet that nobody would be able to hear it. So just so that you guys know, he started the show and like you could barely hear this.
It's actually decibel, not bell.
Yes,
first of all.
Decibel.
Secondly, very funny. Decibel. He needs decibels.
Mike. Chat Mike.
Whoa, okay.
It's just year and a half, buddies.
Check, 1, 2. By the way, that's a great way to start your streams, right, Ash? Check.
Check.
Is
roll,
this thing
1,
on?
2.
There. I think it's picking up the right mic. Okay, that's fixed. What other problems can I fix before my house blows away in a tornado?
Guys, his house is, you got to donate now because his house is going to be destroyed by the tornado any moment.
What else can I fix? What do you mean? What does that even mean? Well, clear your history on your browser should be the second thing you do because he keeps doxing himself.
Better audio, much better. Okay, whoosh, that would have been dicey.
Dicey.
That would have been dicey. Let's check some. Let's check some system audio.
Shock the woba.
Been dicey. Let's check some.
He
system
said,
audio.
"Let's shock some system audio." Like they're oysters that he's slurping down his greasy hole. He's shocking it, buddy.
Hey, Gringo Poppy, dicey.
That works, and then we'll get on with the show.
Is this not actually the worst opening he's ever done? It's up there. It's got to be close. It's
top 3.
It's unbelievably bad. Like I just left it unedited. I think this goes on for like another 3 minutes.
Is this working?
The land of Oz is easy.
Here, it was muted.
What the is happening now?
Check. Okay.
What bad?
Crank that up. Turn it down here. All right, are we good? Good.
Yes!
How does he?
It's been good. Sorry.
How does he expect people to watch this? Like, I'm sorry.
Pressure is rising watching this.
This is the thing, right? There's some shows, right, that you go, oh, I don't like that. You know what I mean? But you could see why somebody else would.
Yeah.
I don't know of anybody that would enjoy this. And in fact, the truth is nobody does. Nobody is actually watching this.
Yeah.
It's garbage.
You could,
no
you could
one's
watch someone. It might be like a cheesy show or like, not your style about whatever they're talking about. And you go, yeah. With Jer, I'm like, there can't be. If there's someone who likes this, God help them.
They have to be elderly.
They have to. Okay.
Oh, here comes the Coke sip.
I'm going to blasphemy this next section. Look, even with DSP, you go, I get it. If you're in a wheelchair and your brain's dead, okay, you're watching some guy play video games. With Jer, like DSP has more value than Jer somehow.
No, he does.
Right?
All right. 5 out of 5. Okay. My voice doesn't sound the same. Well, that part didn't change, I don't think.
Did someone just troll him to think that his voice?
Oh yeah. Well, they just gaslight him constantly, and then he just around with it some more.
That should be.
It's so stupid.
Oh, that reset too. That did reset, huh?
Oh my god.
Help me, please.
Are we okay?
Come on.
Everything just fell apart.
Oh my god, everything just fell apart. So after 3 minutes of around with it and endless dead air, where he finally thinks he got it fixed, then it all just falls apart and this collapses and we're back at square one. It's completely.
Wait, did it fall apart if it was never together?
No, it was never working properly.
It's like a Lego set.
Oh,
everything's already in pieces. Like
Audio good.
Just retire. Just retire.
My
Please
bass.
retire.
it's my base.
Please
okay.
retire. No one cares.
Test 1 2 1 2.
Back.
Jer!
All right.
I'm gonna kill myself, dude.
Yeah, that reset too.
Oh my god.
I've been skipping the Friday stream the last few weeks. No. I did a normal Friday stream and I even did a Saturday.
Listen, you don't even do your stream. You're not even showing up for them. But he's like, no, actually, Stalker Child, I did show up on Friday and Saturday too. He hasn't shown up at 9 a.m. in weeks, by the way, after promoting 9 a.m. ceaselessly for months.
For months.
This week.
Yes.
What a
Sounds good. Do you bass boost your vids? No, I don't.
He probably
I just
does.
have like
why did he feel the need to even read that out? Because obviously somebody trying to felt him. The thing is, every single time this guy claims the opposite of something, no matter what the other side of it would be, no matter how nonsensical, I believe it. Like if he tried to claim, like, no, I don't have a butt plug in, right? I'd be like, he probably does have a butt plug in his ass right now.
You know, wouldn't believe anything he says, no matter what it was.
Oh, the sky is blue today in Wisconsin. You know that it's like gray and cloudy, or the sky is fucking green or something. Like everything he says is a lie.
a set, a set like audio setup.
Come on, man.
All right, we're good.
This is not a show, Jeremy. This is not a show. You should be ashamed. We're good. No, this is not good. This is the worst.
We're good. All right.
Another cope.
Golly gee willikers.
He just said golly gee willikers.
Freak flag fly.
What?
Is it just me or is it hard to
Wait, no, how is this
okay.
real?
Bro, please bring
How
this
is
back.
How is this actually a real life thing?
Is this not one of the worst shows you've ever seen?
Yes.
In all seriousness,
No,
this
literally.
is
I can't think of it like a more just low energy, ridiculous.
He is supposed to say there, freak flag fly, but he said fry instead, and he slurred and mumbled it off.
Man,
flag fly.
Oh.
Is it just me or is it hard to
It's hard for him to. Does he have a UTI?
Hard to
It's hard. Is he having a stroke?
Yeah.
Like I'm not even kidding. Like, is this dementia? Like, is he Jared Biden? Like sundowning? Is this drugs? Is it alcohol? Is it actually like a Mersh like stroke? Is it seizure? Like what is happening?
You know, is it hard? Is it just hard to feel bad?
It's hard to listen to you, Jared. That's what's hard to do. Okay.
So he was trying to spit out, they're calling it the worst take of all time. So a bunch of people got killed by ISIS in Berlin.
Whoa.
And he's like, well, I don't feel bad for them because they're liberals who voted for this. And it's like,
what?
That's a take, Jer. Like, that's a take, buddy. You know, like,
is it getting hard to feel bad for some of this stuff? So what we happened, you know, is
what we happened.
What we happened.
Did you hear that?
So what we happened, you know, is
what do you mean?
I'm sorry, I'm ringing the bell. Like I've been ringing it a lot, but like that is genuinely.
Except for you're back. Why are you back? You want to watch Jared be a retard? Go over here.
these people all voted for this. They all voted for this. I'm not surprised.
They all voted for ISIS to kill them all.
When it happens, it's hard to feel empathetic. I'm just being honest. Sorry, baby Jesus. I know I should feel empathy.
Yes.
Okay, so he like this is the thing. Like, he's like, well, I know I'm supposed to be LARPing as a Christian and have compassion and empathy, but I don't really care that these Muslim invaders slaughtered all these people. It's okay.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you're supposed to be. Melanie Mack keeps saying we're all godless, we're all this, we're all that. Yet her alcoholic yeah, I'm glad they all died. Okay, yeah, go to church on Sunday and pray for that, buddy.
You're gonna preach to us now. You know?
Yeah, I want to hear about church from this guy now.
But it's really hard when people keep doing this to themselves. There we go. No, is that the one?
What's happening here? What the fuck is this image? Look at this. This is the most broken image I've ever seen in my entire life.
Roll, get ready. Like, get ready.
No, that's not the one.
Is it going to break more?
That's the one.
Look, you could see the little split here of his video.
Sorry for the kind of real-time tech issues here. Luckily, we were able to get them all fixed right before we had to go live.
Well, no, that didn't happen. We just watched the video evidence of you struggling for forever, trying to fix it, failing, and it's still broken. And it's like you're apologizing for doing tech issues on the fly while telling everybody it was fixed before the show. That doesn't make any sense, does it?
Wait, what?
That's always nice. It's always stressful tech issues when you're basically a one-person team.
What?
A one-person team.
But didn't you have like editors and thumbnail guys and all this stuff? Like, what happened, bro?
Beyond that, it's actually as a one-person me working OBS. It's not that hard after a few years.
This is the thing. Like, wouldn't it be better for him to just hire an actual producer to prep his show and run OBS rather than hire Melanie to sit there and go, yeah, awesome. Or how about if you're going to pay Melanie 6 figures a year, how about she preps the shows and she runs OBS?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here?
Also, so many shows, the producer will, pipe in, right? Like, Jamie on Joe Rogan or all those podcasts. There's always like a background voice that goes, oh, yeah, you're right about that, right?
Aren't you? I just want to point out the insanity of this. She gets paid 6 figures a year on a show that I don't even think brings in 5 figures a year in donations. She gets paid 6 figures a year to work 2 days a week for an hour, maybe 2 hours max per day, does no show prep, does no production, contributes basically nothing, doesn't even bring in simps to donate. And Jer thinks that this is a good thing and a good arrangement because she sweeps for him on Twitter sometimes, and he gets to sexually gratify himself by creeping her out with poo talk. Like that's, am I getting this straight? Like, that's what's going on here.
Genius, yeah.
I don't even know if all these changes I made are going to stick when I close the software again. They just disappeared. All my scenes, all my all the stuff that I have pre-planned, pre-programmed, just disappeared. I want to thank y'all for tuning in today. We hear a lot about crypto, but here's the part most people miss. Crypto was created so we will also be available on
He called crypto Cryptus.
We all hear
not
about
even
crypto
cryptid.
a lot. Do
we hear about Cryptus a lot. Not anymore, really.
I hear less about crypto every day. Like, you know?
Here's the part most people miss. Crypto was created so we will also be available on Walmart.
On Walmart. On the roof of Walmart.
Very soon.
At Walmart. What does pretty soon mean? Because he said by the end of the month, and it's now the 28th. So he has 3 more days to get into Walmart. Oh, but there was the paperwork issues, right? Because, I mean, the packaging, wasn't actually compliant with Walmart or anybody's standards, like the FDA standards. So you had to change the packaging and invest thousands and thousands of dollars into that. And even still, you're probably not going to get into Walmart. And even if you do get into Walmart, you're going to make this massive order of for Walmart. None of it's going to sell. You're going to lose tens of thousands of dollars. Just lose your ass completely, go under, and probably lose your house. That's what's actually going to happen, in all seriousness.
Did we say Awarski, too sexy for casino, for a sub? Demon Psychiatrist for a sub. Thank you very much, guys. Sorry.
Aurelius says, I love when he snorts. He's the snortering. Roman Prolapsky, you and your bull, Jer. No one of note says Jer has snaked every single friend he ever had, including Bering, who seemed to genuinely want to help him. Falling Rock says, I would do anything to talk this guy down into a puddle. He's one conversation away from sewer slide. Kick Dork says, Jer has a huge barbershop ASMR fetish. What? Dawn has all the proof. Maggie was his barber. I think she got fired because an affair was found out.
Whoa.
What? Whoa, buddy.
It's true, not allegedly. Sue me.
Barbershop ASMR? What the f is that? I don't know. Pierre Callahan says, well, Mel came to his defense, but you said not a person, and soulless, vapid, middle-aged e-girl cosplayers don't count as people. That's true.
We will also be
Thanks for the big support, guys. What a show. What a return show. Thank you so much.
Available on Walmart very soon. I'm roasting up our first order. I'm really excited about that.
No, you're not roasting up the order. Java Taza and Mill Creek are roasting it, bro. But so it's like, by the way, he says we're getting into Walmart very soon. So he doesn't actually have a definitive date for when he's getting into Walmart, right? But he's roasting it right now. What sense does that make? Wouldn't you want to know definitively when you're going to be in Walmart in order to then roast it and fulfill it for it to be as fresh as possible on Walmart shelves? Like, it's just already, it's just such an obvious lie. And he just expects people to believe this. And then what's crazy is he does these lies knowing that there are people just dissecting every single thing he does under a microscope and thinks he's going to get away with it and he's smarter than everybody. It's crazy.
And soon Target. So we're expanding rapidly, and then we'll be in Canada
Target
by the end
now,
of the year.
And Canada. And soon the world. And then the moon. I'm sure, Jeremy. Yeah.
So all my Canadian viewers will be able to get our products. So I'm in expansion mode, big and heavy.
Whoa.
Canadian viewers will be.
Did you hear that, folks?
We're going to be able to get it. I doubt it.
Canadian viewers are, which is us. It's just me and Ashton.
But wouldn't it be a good thing to, first of all, sort out Walmart before you then also do Target? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like you're going to do every major grocery chain in the country all at the same time on a shoestring budget with no actual capital at all. Like, no investors, nothing. And you're going broke and you have no real revenue. Like, what sense does this make? Like, it just doesn't. It doesn't make sense.
Phil update. Phil did not hit the goal tonight. Let's go.
He has no advertising budget. You know what I mean?
Well,
he has no employees by his own admission. He's the entire customer service department by his own admission. And he's going to go national in every Walmart and in every Target. Like,
I can't wait. I can't wait. You know?
It sounds like a recipe to lose $1 million. It really does. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds like a recipe to lose every single thing he fucking has in this world. Because like, what happens when it doesn't sell through? Because it's not going to sell. It's not going to sell at $20 on a Walmart shelf next to all of these other options that people are already familiar with no advertising budget behind it. It's just magically, okay, it's on Walmart shelves, ? Profit. Why are people going to choose it over the coffee they already buy? The packaging looks like shit. There's no advertising. This is a lunatic plan.
I can't wait for it. It sounds great to me. Do it, Jer. You got this, buddy.
We'll get our products. So I'm in expansion mode, big and heavy.
I just say like
expansion. Your waistline is expanding. Yeah. He's big and heavy. You know, hefty.
But it's so funny how he does like the exact like he says the exact same thing, but then contradicts it the next day. He'll be like, I don't know, it's fucking falling apart, man.
Need your help to build up some cash to put through these
So this
giant...
is what's crazy. He needs our help to build cash. Mind you, he's like a multi-millionaire, like set for life. He's, had his best coffee sales month ever, but there's not the capital to fulfill the order for Walmart. Okay, why don't you get a loan then, bitch? What are you, you're maxed out on all your credit? You have no business credit left, no personal credit left. It's on us, right? Oh, I need your help to become a multi-millionaire coffee mogul empire in Walmart and Target. Like, who the does he think that he is? Where like we're all saying, oh yes, Majesty, let us give you money so you can build this empire, King. Like, what? It's just pathetic. Like, who has to beg like this? Like a fucking bum to sell their product. Offer your fucking product. This weird, like, parasocial begging. Guys, please, I need your help. Fuck you. Figure it out. Sell your Cybertruck. I guess he already did. Sell your Ford Raptor. Sell all your shit to do your dream of being in Walmart, bro.
New orders. If I get blown away live on stream, make sure you buy some coffee for my wife.
That's so shameful to like dangle his death like that. Guys, I could die at any time. Please,
it's a storm. It's a storm. Deal with it.
Oh my God.
We just dealt with like unbreathable living conditions for like 4 days straight in Canada. Okay? And then Trump threatened us with tariffs again because of it. Did you see that?
In terms of taking shelter, I mean, I'm already in my basement.
He's in his basement.
Early.
He's been banished there by Heather and the bull. Buddy, watch this. You can see his underwear popping out there, buddy.
Oh,
look at this. Boxer alert.
Wait, is he actually?
Is that a diaper?
Is he wearing it? Yeah. What the? Is his shirt tucked into his sweatpants? It's sweatpants.
That'd be hardcore mode all week long. I'm trying to lose 30 pounds.
Wait, what does he have? What is this?
It's like some sort of electrolyte powder or something.
Relight. Yeah, you're right.
30 pounds by this wedding. I've got a wedding coming up in...
30 pounds you should be able to lose in 1 day as you, Jer.
Basically, Jer.
You could just like not eat for 3 days straight and you've lost 30 pounds.
Like 2 months?
months?
It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, you could easily accomplish that, but it's not going to happen.
Just take a share. You'll lose 30 pounds.
And I mean, 30 is probably pretty aggressive, but
so it's already lowered expectations. Ari's like, no, I guess there's no way. It's like you know. Well, mind you, like at the beginning of the year, he talked about his fitness journey and how he was going to get healthy and he was cutting out all this stuff and none of it materialized.
Well, you're right. Wait,
but now it's going to
was that?
magically happen. That was in January. Remember?
Yeah.
And he was telling Hannah
saying
Claire
the video we just watched with Melanie Mack about the steaks.
Oh, that was a few days ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can't lose 30 pounds in, what was it, 2 months?
Well, he claims he's already lost 7 pounds, which he didn't.
Well, then 30 pounds should be like that in 2 months. Like, what are you talking about?
20 would be good. 20 to 25 would be good. That's I want to lose 25.
Isn't he 500 pounds? Like, what the like, it's so easy to lose that weight. Like, what are you talking about,
He's
Jared?
like 450 pounds at this point.
Buddy.
By the wedding and 50 by the end of the year. 75 by my birthday and 100 by the end of next year.
Okay.
And with that, we're going to wrap.
Listen,
It's fantasy land.
I'm a dreamer too, Jared, but come on.
Up today's stream. Full 2 hours today. It's probably going to be a little longer if I.
Congratulations. You did 2 hours.
I just don't understand. Why doesn't he just lose the weight? You know, stop telling people you're going to lose it and just lose it. Or just die. Like, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't have those technical issues, but we'll be back tomorrow with Melanie Mack at 2 p.m. Eastern for our regular Tuesday show, and I hope you come back for that. And stay safe out there with these storms, and we'll...
It's only you that we all apparently live in bumfuck Wisconsin, you know.
Talk to you
Kalamazoo.
What?
Okay.
Jared Brody.
So, do you guys want the diet arc of Jer, or do you want the coffee arc? What do you want?
Want to take the break arc? I have to take a piss.
All right, let's take a break here. We'll come back. We'll do one more segment on Jer. Then we're going to go to the Ralph segment. Then we'll talk about Phil. We've got Angry Joe still as well.
Wow.
So
Big
a lot
show.
of show. Yeah, a lot of shows still to come.
Let's go.
I'm gonna poop my pants. Only got $25 in my pocket. I'm pooping, looking for a toilet. This is gruesome. Yeah, walk into the store like, what up? Here comes a big fart. Nah, I just dumped. I did a shit at a Walmart. Poop on the floor, sure takes some beating. The people like, damn, buddy, what you eating? Wading in ankle deep, headed to the sit down. Dressed in all white, but now everything's turning brown. Washing off in the sink, guy standing next to me. Probably should've closed his mouth, flex a poop flying free. Piss. Oh shit, there's a taco truck, friends. I'm gonna poop my pants. Only got $25 in my pocket. I'm pooping, looking for a toilet. This is gruesome. I'm gonna poop my pants. Only got $25 in my pocket. I'm pooping, looking for a toilet. This is gruesome. I wear these stained clothes. My show's unwatchable. I took a big ass dump on the Grip Shop. That's my show. I wear these poop stained clothes. My show's unwatchable. I took a big ass dump on the Grip Shop. That's my show.
Right, perfect timing. Perfect timing from both of us. Holy.
All right, let's have a look at Jer's diet. Oh boy.
I thought you were going to say diarrhea for a second.
Well, same thing, really. It's the only way he'll lose weight is by getting dehydrated from his massive diarrhea dookie dumps, you know.
Yikes.
Holy.
Alrighty, here we go. You ready?
I
Yeah.
think I'll lose a little, just given how stark of a switch it's been.
For sure.
Come
Putting
on,
alcohol.
man. It's this massive, stark change, guys. So I've cut the alcohol and I've done all this. You haven't changed a thing. Maybe if you said, listen, I'm just making some small changes here and there, maybe people would believe you. Honestly, seeing is believing, though. Because he's just like, it's a broken record. Oh, I've done it. I'm going to do it this time. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Let's see some results, bitch.
Buddy, it's been years of this.
Would probably have already helped me.
Yeah.
But, you know, I do have a casino night. But
Woo! Yes, you do. It's tonight.
Whoa.
Welcome to the casino. Yeah, by the way, this is the 7th time he's cut alcohol this year. No, that's right, Nolan Prop. This year, 7 times.
you told me I can have White Girl White Claws.
Yeah, White Claw. If you're gonna
So
drink,
in Jared's mind, he doesn't listen to his doctor, like medical professional. Well, Melanie Mack told me I could drink White Claws. Like, how are you?
That's
And it's
actually-
like, listen, like, I'm sure it's better than, I don't know, drinking a beer, I guess, but like,
not really.
there's,
It's like
there's still,
140
you
calories.
know what I mean? It's the
We
same
researched
shit
it
as
earlier.
drink. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really good.
well-
Obviously.
Well, how much is a beer? Beer, let's say regular can, let's
Well,
say
the thing
a
is, you know, like,
Budweiser.
because she'll be like, okay, you can have one White Claw, but you know right well he's going to drink 10 or 12 fucking White Claws.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
so a White Claw has 25 less calories than a beer.
So you may as well just drink a
You
beer.
just drink the beer, you may as well.
you get those
I'll
White
probably just
Claws.
try not to for
Yeah,
as long
try
as I
not
can.
to.
Yeah.
But it's
He can't.
it's
He's an
better that
alcoholic.
if you do, because if you find yourself where it's just like, okay, and you're just white knuckle willpowering it, you might get to a
Well,
point where
that's
it's just
not
like you
happening.
just.
Maybe it's time for some willpower.
Well, by the way, like, why is this a public conversation? You know what I mean? Like,
it's a lie, too.
it's just a pathetic fucking cope. It's, oh no, guys, I've really changed. You know, you can give me money now because I've changed. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Fall
Give
off
up.
the rails. And so if you're like, okay, look, if you catch yourself like, okay, if I don't have something, I will go off the rails. So
Yeah.
go ahead and have the White Claw then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 6. But anyway,
There it is! Or 6!
Or 6. He even knows because nobody is going to have just one White Claw.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're drinking, like, 1 is too many and 2's not enough. If you're somebody like Jer,
Yeah.
you're just going to keep drinking and drinking and drinking until you get blackout drunk. This is the way it is for him.
Yeah, you know, whatever.
yeah, so you've got a couple. Yeah, if I'm going to have one, I might as well have none. Let's be clear.
Right, yeah, you can have more than one.
Like that,
Well, 'cause
that's the addict mentality right there,
because it's
bro.
not about, oh, I like the taste of it, or, oh, I just need like a little to take the edge
small
off.
buzz, you know, tiny little touch.
It's either I'm getting drunk or there's no point to this at all. And it's like, at this point, you have to admit you have a problem, man. You obviously have a problem. There's a reason you can't sleep at night. There's a reason that you have diarrhea constantly that's uncontrollable. There's a reason you're 450 pounds. And the reason for all of these things is very simple. You're an alcoholic. That's it. That's the root cause of all of this. You're an alcoholic, man. Quit drinking, and suddenly you'll find that all of these problems go away.
And what happens when you drink, folks? I'm going to eat some snacks. I'm going to have some chips. I'm going to have a burger. You know what I mean? Like pizza.
Well, you just lose all control.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly.
One, but yeah.
Try to
If
keep
you're gonna
it
do
to
it, keep it to the White Claws, and then you can bounce back from that much easier.
Well, they have this thing called these drinks like carblesses, which are the same thing, and they have
Okay,
a lot
yeah,
of zero
there you
carb.
go. There you go.
But I'm gonna try to just go like 2 weeks clean. And
No, you can't. No, you can't, man.
2 weeks, and then I'm gonna quit being clean.
What does that even mean?
How about just stay sober forever, buddy? You know what I mean?
Like, this is the thing. He's at the point where he can't, because he's physically dependent on alcohol, and not just alcohol, but SSRIs and Xanax. And it's a deadly fucking combination, man. And you can't go off of any of those things, or you're just completely like the Xanax. If you go off of that, you're gonna have seizures. Same thing with the booze. You can have seizures, you have hallucinations. You're sick. Like it's like withdrawal almost. Some people say it's worse when you're at this level of addiction that he's at. It's sick. Like he honestly needs to be on like intervention. Like he needs to be under medical supervision for months in a rehab facility where they're able to medically control him tapering off of the drugs and alcohol that he's on. He cannot do it by willpower. He will literally die if he goes cold turkey. He will. That's why he can't. I'm not kidding. This is the truth.
Except my disgusting nicotine pouch habit. But if I'm cutting booze,
Hey, you know,
I'm leaving that.
exactly.
You know?
Go ahead. Like, go ahead. One thing at a time. Like, yeah.
What app do you use? The one that, well, I used for a long.
Wait, we've been hearing about the. It's like your old buddy telling you they quit smoking, and every day you see them, you walk to the park or wherever you see them, and you see them smoking a cigarette, and then the next day they go, "I quit again." And you're like, but every time I see you, you're smoking a cigarette. This is what it like. Why even say this?
Long time I used Body something when I was doing fasting, but now I use.
I can't even remember the app name. Body something.
He was doing fasting, guys.
Oh,
where are you, bud?
Where ya?
Miss Pal. And then what's the one you sent me to track
My
workouts?
Fitness
called
Pal.
Heavy. Hevy. If you get on there, it's like a social media thing too. So you can.
I
add
downloaded
me.
it and set it up last night, but
Okay.
yeah,
because I
It's social media. Wait, there's a Jer weigh-in Twitter, like specifically for his weight.
Oh my god!
There's no way. Wait, what?
just started using that for my workouts, and I like it. I think it's great.
oh wait, what were we just talking about? Brain fog.
So is this dementia? Okay, so now, so he has heard that if you're on keto, you get brain fog. You see, and so he's like pretending that he has brain fog because he's on this strict keto diet. The brain fog is because you're a chronic alcoholic that's on Xanax and SSRIs, and you're getting brain zaps from being a degenerate, bud.
I was saying, wait, you use what? Were you saying nicotine?
No, Heavy. The
oh yeah, the app. yeah, sorry. I did have a good bit of brain
nicotine
fog
for me,
yesterday.
I'm good.
That's for sure.
It's all good. That
This
happens,
is like a
especially
ditzy
like you're
blonde woman pretending that,
That was
she's
the
like,
fakest I've ever seen in my entire life. bro.
Was it not? Like,
Oh
I'm
wait,
so
hang on.
anemic.
Brain fog. Oh wait, the app. That's right. I had brain fog yesterday too. That was so scripted.
your brain is
I'm
adjusting.
definitely shocking the system.
Yeah, because like your brain is used to running on glucose. And so now all of a sudden you just cut that glucose off. Like your body can make what
almost
you need,
like
but
maybe this is no. Like
How about-
I don't know. Like
Start at 2,500 calories a day. Then go to 2,400.
that's the thing,
Then
secret
go to
seeker.
2,300.
It's been one day at this point. One day.
that initial like
Someone says keto fixes brain fog. Hang on.
Oh my god.
There's no way it does.
What's the thing, Doom Weapon? Mel is not a medical professional or a nutritionist or anything like this. But she's like telling this fucking morbidly obese, sick man how to figure it out. Like,
Ash, does keto clear brain fog? Yes.
Well, that's what it's supposed
alleviates
to do.
brain fog.
Yes, but there's supposedly initially you'll have brain fog, but then in the end it'll be better for you and you'll have more energy,
Okay.
blah, 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 blah.
On keto, do you start with brain fog? I'll ask that then. Yes, apparently. Okay.
First couple weeks or so in ketosis, like it's
What's this flu everyone keeps telling me to
keto
expect
flu.
getting?
Yeah.
Why are you so
Is it
happy?
AIDS?
What is that? What does that
No,
mean? Does that
that's
mean
a-
I'm going to get sick?
I mean, if you keep up with the electrolytes, you might not have anything.
I'm
I mean,
spamming
what-
He's
electrolytes
not
like
going.
crazy.
that's good.
I'm putting
Buddy, these guys are fucking
Like
retards.
this like science experiment or whatever, just because you won't fucking count calories and you want to eat bacon for every meal. Like it's fucking retarded. You know what I mean? Like
So, yeah, okay, look. A few months ago, I'm sure some people noticed, I lost 10 pounds. You know what I did, Ashton?
what?
I ate less food.
You know,
That's literally all I did. I just ate less food.
I mean, the bottom line is all that Jer actually has to do is quit drinking. That's all that he
Yes.
has to do. And he'll probably drop 50 pounds so quick. Just
Oh,
by
dude.
quitting drinking.
Dude, that's right. I just ate 2 meals a day for 2 weeks instead of 3. That's all I did. And no snacks.
one of those scoops in every. So I'm having like 8 scoops of that
Good.
relight stuff
That'll
every
help.
day.
That'll help. You might experience very minimal, like the brain fog. That's no.
Okay, he's acting like he's like fucking a Christian Bale in that movie where he had to
But-
lose like 400
Yeah,
pounds.
the
and be-
machinist or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like, buddy, how about you stick to this for a few months and then talk about it?
Exactly.
Because this is going to be over by next week. If it even started. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing, is this is all a fantasy. It's all a delusion.
Yes.
There's no evidence that any of this has taken place. He's always lying about this stuff.
Well, he's showing the electrolyte. Okay, but you're still drinking booze. I'm sorry, if you're drinking booze, you're not on a diet. If you can't go a day without drinking, you're not on diet. That's how it starts.
Normal for keto flu.
Also, isn't fucking White Claw just full of sugar?
Is it sugary? I thought it was like
I don't
water
know.
with like artificial flavor, but I have
Does
no fucking
White
clue.
Claw have sugar? Only 3 grams, actually. Wow. Crazy.
It's not
So
as
that's-
bad as you'd think.
Yeah, no,
You are
that's great.
experiencing a little bit of that. You just might be a little more lightheaded, a little weaker. But like, yeah, some people like if you don't, because when I first did keto, I first tried keto like 10 years ago. I didn't have any resources or anything like that. And
I gotta ask, why would Melanie Mack ever need to do keto? Like, she's 90 pounds. You know? Like, it just doesn't make
She's
like it's actually like body dysmorphia where she's like anorexic and thinks that she has to lose weight. Like, there's not much to lose there, darling. You have no tits.
That's anorexia, man. Look at her arms, bud.
Like, come on, man.
I didn't supplement any electrolytes or anything. And I felt like I had the flu. I felt like pukey.
Oh wow, yeah.
I was burping constantly, dizzy,
Wow.
all this.
Wow, it sounds
but
great.
It was electrolyte imbalance, and I didn't know at the time.
That's what happened to me yesterday. And
yeah.
like 2 or 3
Yeah.
o'clock in the afternoon, I got lightheaded.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's probably because I'm not drinking any electrolytes. And then I
Yeah.
just
It's the Xanax. It's the fucking. It's maybe the 4 Zyn pouches in your mouth mixed with Xanax.
The energy drinks.
The Celsius.
You know, like he's just like doing all the unhealthy shit all at once. It's like you have to pick a struggle, man. Like you either are a smoker or an alcoholic
Or
or a
drug
fucking-
addict, pill.
you know, I
Pick
mean,
one.
But you can't do all of it or you're gonna die.
I'm like, I did like 3 scoops in one. It tasted like ass. But then I felt better like in 20 minutes. you
Oh
know?
yeah, that'll make it different.
Has he tried the gym? Or we're gonna hear about
Well,
the
that's
gym,
the oth-
right?
Oh, I'm sure we're gonna hear about it, buddy. Oh yeah. Any day now.
Any day.
And day 3 of keto,
Yay!
I also began moving. I'm
So
moving
now we're
that,
on day 3. It's like, yay! You ate a bunch of meat for 3 days. Like
Tough, eh?
you
Eating bone steaks 3 times a day.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like it's just like the cope for Fox. Oh yeah, like is this much different than what you were doing before? You know,
I have an adjustable like bench, so it like can sit at like whatever position.
Awesome.
I'm getting rid of my. I had another desk studio set up for a channel that I've abandoned now. So
oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait. You abandoned that channel. What channel was that again? Oh, what was it? Oh, it was Unsleeved Media. Yeah. Remember when he told us that we didn't know anything about business because we didn't know how tax write-offs work and how it was immediately
He DM'd me
profitable?
screenshots. Remember, we saw like a month later. We're like, what the f is this?
Of him being like, you guys are stupid. Like these Pokemon cards are guaranteed profit because I can write it off on my taxes. And it's like, well, then why aren't you still doing that? Oh, that's right. Because you lost tens of thousands of dollars on, pieces of cardboard.
Mega Shark Pedo every pack.
They were clearly resealed. Had he kept them sealed, he would have made a fucking profit. But he ripped them open like a fucking dummy, so he can put down a loss on his taxes, and he comes out ahead.
Real
if you write down
Pokemon
a loss
fans
on your taxes, that's a profit.
Real Pokemon fans would look at those boxes and know they were resealed. They'd go, come. They'd find like all the tells.
It's so true, Captain Murphy. When he pulled Rent is Due. The spider. That was
so funny, dude.
Chef's kiss moment.
Oh.
I'm taking that desk out tonight, and then I'm gonna move the workout stuff in here. So that
how about you fucking retard? You walk to the other room and just do your exercise. This is what's crazy, right? It's not even that he has to go to the gym. His is in his house. He has tens of thousands of dollars of workout equipment he's never used one time. But in his mind, he won't use it unless it's right next to his desk.
That's crazy.
In his office. It's because then he'll have to walk by it and be shamed. Like, listen, bro. Either you want to work out or you don't. If you don't want to work out, it's probably not going to fucking happen. You know what I mean? And it's like you just had this big health scare, fucking blew out your knee, whatever. If that's not waking you up, I don't really know what's going to. And I honestly don't think he gives a shit if he lives or dies. I think he wants to die soon because he doesn't want to lose everything.
Yeah.
And he's going to lose everything in like 2 years. He's
it's over. But yeah, you're right. Like, if you can't walk to the other room, I drive like over to the gym. I drive to a gym to get out of the house too, right? And it's like, if you can't work out, and it's like in the next room, it's not happening. It's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
Walk past
Just don't
it every
do it.
time.
Just quit.
So it like
I
low
love
key will shame me.
You can add you can make little videos for your vlog channel and stuff of your fitness journey.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, but that gives ammunition to all the wrong.
Wait.
Like what you're doing right now.
Ammunition? No, you know what it is? Because he knows he won't stick to it.
He's going to fail. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Because if it was, oh my God, Quartering lost another 5 pounds. He lost 10 pounds this week. We'd be felted. Shares lost 100 pounds. He weighed in every week for the last 6 months. He's lost 100 pounds. We have all these videos of him on the treadmill, lifting weights. What would we say? It's over. He won. But he knows he's not going to stick to it. So I don't even know why you talk this shit. It's like, well, I'm going to talk to you. Oh, guys, I'm really losing the weight this time. No one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No one actually cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Wait, it's not a fitness journey. It's a fatness journey. Thanks, Richard Hungwell, for that.
People in general. Maybe like every major milestone. Like every 20 or 30.
Okay, so every year he'll make one video that he lost 1 pound. Jer, shut the fuck up.
You know?
There you go. Do it for the big.
Like, the God's honest truth is when you're this, like, your weight fluctuates like 5 to 7 pounds, like regularly.
A day.
Every day.
Yeah,
like
literally.
depending on your water levels. Did you
Even
take
when
a
you're not,
shit?
even when you're like, I'm 173 pounds or something, but it goes 170, 169, 174, and it goes up and down every day. It just changes constantly.
Big milestones, and then you're gonna keep mogging your haters.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
The transformation.
You will never mog anyone, Jer.
No, he's not. I just can't believe. How long do you think this delusional is gonna last?
A month.
I don't even give it another week.
Really?
I'll be surprised if we hear about this by the middle of August. You know what I mean?
You're right. You know what? You're right.
It's just obvious that he's not going to do anything, because if he was, he already would be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep, you're right.
Has begun. I'm getting.
Yeah. Okay. You know, I was being too nice. A month is crazy. You're right. Because he quit his alcohol. When he quit drinking, it was what, a week, right?
By next month, he may say he started again.
True.
You know.
But we have to like from this section.
A little tired of going to the bathroom every 20 minets, but
wait.
Yeah, that's
this diabetes.
When you start keto, you're gonna be peeing all. You're getting rid of water weight. Honestly, too, when you're just in a fat burning mode in general, you pee a lot more because like your fat cells, like when you.
Or it's maybe the excessive amounts of water that you've been drinking.
I love hearing this fucking retard try and like bro science or cis science explain like the body. It's like, bitch, you don't know fucking anything about anything. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
When they release the fat, then they replace it with water, and then you'll get like this whoosh effect where all of a sudden, like, then your body's like, okay, we're safe to. He's not going to replace this. Like they put the water. The cells are like, we're going to put water in here for when he decides to eat cupcakes again, and then we'll put it back. But like, he's not eating the cupcakes. Let's all this out.
Yeah, that.
Okay, when you drink gallons of water a day, when I was like boxing,
listen,
I pissed like 18 times a day.
Maybe what she's saying is true, but just because it's her saying it, I just doubt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have a long day on Wednesday, and I'm trying to plan my water around it now. So I was like telling my wife, I'm like, okay, I'm going to drink like 100 ounces of water.
We're talking about how many ounces of water.
Are we for real right now, dude? I gotta be hydrated, bro.
Ashton drinks water all show. He has never brought it up ever.
Guys, I gotta get in my 100 ounces of water. Bro, I gotta get in my Stanley tumblers.
Imagine you're like, guys, I'm drinking like, yeah, we don't give a no offense. Like,
by like 11 a.m. So then I have like a 2-hour drive. I don't have to stop every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'll cut my water at like 11 and I'll pick it back up.
Jared, bud, you know what would help with not being dehydrated? Quitting drinking, you stupid cunt. You know what I mean? Like, we're like, this is all for naught if he keeps drinking. Like, it doesn't matter, bro. You're gonna fucking be dehydrated if you're getting drunk every night. That's why you have the diarrhea issues, man.
Okay, how much do you think is his maintenance weight for calories?
Probably 4,000.
Okay, Jer, eat normally, but eat 3,500 a day.
He can literally eat whatever he wants, aside from just eating bags of fucking potato chips and Twinkies all goddamn day. As long as he quits drinking, like, it's really that simple. But this is like, the problem is he's a addict, okay? And, you know, a lot of people have this, you know? Like, I obviously have an addiction to food.
Yeah.
This is not something that you just break like this, like magic. You actually have to really, really desire to change. And not just for like, oh, I'm going to own the haters, or I'm going to, you know what I mean? Like, that's not what's going to cause this. And the God's honest truth is a lot of people just aren't going to change, man. When you've been living this way for 45 years, drunk for the last quarter century every day, you're not just going to magic, oh, here we go, everything's changed. He's going to die like this, chances are. And who really gives a But we all have to sit here and pretend like he's going to change, that he has this magic ability to change.
You know what I hate about this whole segment? The way he's talking about it, like when she's like, oh yeah, then your water, and then he's like, yeah. He's like smugly nodding like he's been a gym bro for 5 years. Shut the up. This, oh yeah, you know, and then I did this and I did. You don't know anything about anything, bro. You know what I mean? It's like hearing about Ralph. Remember his whole sobriety arc, and you're like, move on.
Even if you know what you're talking about, nobody wants to hear diet advice from a big fat piece of shit. You know what I mean?
There, but yeah, the whooshing phase has probably hasn't begun yet. It's probably just more like I went from drinking 30 ounces of water a day to 150, and there's just
okay.
A lot.
Pause. How does he know how much water? Like he was tracking that he was only drinking 30 ounces a day. It doesn't make sense because if you're tracking it, you're gonna drink the water, man. Holy.
Oh, yeah, but
they didn't drink 30 ounces of water. It was all booze. Come on.
It's good though, because then like you're gonna see that scale weight move, and it helps motivate you. Even though a lot of it's water,
the way he's nodding, like he's like, yeah, I'm fucking it. Prove it.
It's just it'll help motivate you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I shot out.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
So somehow there's more. Like honestly, there was so much of this. I had to just cut like so many clips because it was just like the last number of shows from Jer has just all been about like how he's winning with his huge diet and he's a king.
Huge. This huge something happening.
Good day, everybody. Welcome in to the Thursday show. I am tired, Melanie. It was a long day.
He's tired.
He's
tired. It's been a long day of sitting on his ass and doing nothing, everybody.
For me yesterday, a lot of walking.
That's awesome, though. That looks fun.
Yeah, I mean, that quartering logo is 100% real, too.
I was totally there.
They put it in there,
what?
And I was just as shocked as the viewers.
We're talking about his fucking air show vlog, which is so boring and shit that we're not going to watch it. It was a waste of time, but he AI'd the quartering logo onto an airplane. It's like, can you believe it?
Oh wow, yeah.
No, you're right, Monkey 042. Melanie does talk to him like he's special needs.
Yo,
like he's actually like an invalid or
you drank your water today? Good job.
Wow, you pet the dog? Awesome. Yeah.
So yeah.
Now I'm gonna I want to rewatch this part with knowing that. I want to be thinking about that.
A lot of walking.
That's awesome, though. That looks fun.
It's like a kindergarten teacher.
Awesome.
Isn't it? Wow. Good job. You drew a circle.
You spelled your name. Hey, that's great.
Wow.
This is the thing. This is a grown-ass man that's allegedly a business genius, mastermind, mogul that dominates the world. And you know what I mean? And he has to be talked to like he's a literal child, that he needs like this motivate. It's so patronizing. Like that would just piss me off. And this is the twisted boomer mentality of Jer and of like the boomer generation just in general, where they always want somebody to suck their ass and just like bow to them and like lick their shoes. Like it's just fucking weird, man. Like it's just not normal. Like no normal person would want to be treated this way, like they're a fucking invalid, but he does because it makes him feel like a big man.
Yeah, I mean, that quartering logo is 100% real, too.
I was totally there.
They put it in there, and I was just as shocked as the viewers are. So, yeah, it was. I spent all day yesterday at the...
good, though. Walking is really... I mean,
walking is good.
Yes! Sitting's the new smoking.
trying to trim up. It is so
it's
good.
overrated. It's fucking overrated. It's over.
Who walks and goes, oh, this is tough. But then we believe you're at the gym and you bought machines.
Well, no, he has his home gym because he's a god. That he's going to show us his walkthrough of his home gym. And how much money he spent on it. And,
okay.
You know,
wow.
They had about 20,000 steps yesterday, roughly.
Nice.
Nice.
He made it up. Even she knows. Like, that's not true.
20,000.
Like, he walked 10 miles, apparently.
7 hours of straight walking.
I had my first keto I would say like mismanagement moment. Not that I
get ready for this, guys.
Keto, but
so it's like 3 days in and he's already up his diet. But we have to believe that he's just gonna make it, bro. He's gonna be swole, bro.
Okay.
7 o'clock, and I realized I hadn't eaten since like 11. I was getting like crazy lightheaded, and then I got like anxiety about it. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
And then
would he eat a funnel cake or something? Like, what happened?
This is twisted. Like, if you're getting anxiety over like, sir, you're a grown man. Like, it's time to grow the up. Like, he's having to pop a Xan over whether or not he had like too many carbs that day or whatever. Like, it's off.
Then I was
So
like, it was really hard to find food there that it was on a keto diet. So I just went to a taco stand. I was like, look.
Wait.
He goes to the taco stand.
Yeah, there's your diet food, guys. The taco stand.
You want? I see you have brisket and chicken
there you
tacos.
go.
Give me like 3 portions of each meat in a bowl. Like, I don't want any
a burrito bowl.
Anything else. And surprisingly, they were like, okay, cool. I just said,
well, it's because it's a regular. It's a fucking burrito bowl. You fucking mongoloid. Like, what are we supposed to like give this guy a gold star and suck his ass because he ate a taco without the shell?
I eat burrito bowls exclusively. I don't even I prefer burrito bowls over tacos out of like flavor for me personally.
Rather than like go through the whole, I'm trying to lose weight.
For sure.
Why would you? Who gives a That's gay.
They can look at me.
I'm gay for having burrito bowls. All right. Yeah.
And say that. I'm just like, I said, I have an allergy. I can only eat meat. And they're like,
what?
Okay.
Okay, listen, buddy.
God.
You don't have look at the way he looks down and to the left. He's lying. Okay. And it's just like, listen, like, why do you even feel the need to lie to people and be like, I have an allergy, I can only eat meat? So, like, is that a common thing? No. It just sounds retarded. Just be like, give me a burrito bowl, man. Like, you don't have to tell them, oh, I can't eat anything else but meat. Like,
you know what it is? I used to have to deal with this when I was a butcher. Vegans would always go like, by the way, I'm vegan, so I'm buying this for somebody else. I'd be like,
what?
Congrats. I don't give a
Listen, here's what's crazy, Andy. None of this ever happened.
It's true.
There was no taco truck. There was no burrito bowl. This is all made up so that people think that he's like this, whoa, man, he's really committed to the diet.
He ate a burrito bowl. Oh my God, what a king. I ate a burrito bowl last week. Could I have a gold star? May I have some subs for the burrito bowl for last week I had?
And it was like 25 or 30 bucks or something like that. But
the burrito bowl, very funny.
Whenever I stayed on day
Good for you. It's
4.
That's the thing is like whenever you go, some places they charge a crazy amount just for meat. But then if you go,
Qdoba does that. Like I'm like, I want a bowl.
Okay,
but
you
I just want meat.
Are supposedly millionaires that are set for life, and you guys are talking about like it's an extra $4 for meat. Like this is not something that even at Andy and I's income level, like, let alone supposedly at this multi-millionaire level that ever I'm just going to be real. Like, this is something that, like I would stress out about when I was flat broke.
When I was working at the movie theater and I was broke. Yeah, like basically. Look at all these
We
subs.
got
For my
Y-Actus
burrito
for
bowl.
10 subs.
For the burrito bowl. Let's go.
Pleasantly plump PPP for 10
Burrito bowl subs. Let's go.
Ballin' Ball Nuts. Buzz CJC with a sub. New Skank So Reeked for 5
Sheesh.
subs.
That's right. Big support. D-Havoc.
For a pack it up.
Yeah. You. All right, you ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
And like I would get like corn or something else in there. It's like $25, 20 to 25 bucks. I'm like, come on, dog. Like there used to be a day. I don't know.
Andy's Elmo laugh for 5 subs. Let's go and Predon Corpse for a sub. Thank you guys. And why a cactus for 10? Did you read that one? You read that one, right?
Remember the air
Thank
this era?
you.
You probably do because I bet you Qdoba was a go-to, or at least for a lot of people on keto or carnivore. That was the place to go because they had like
eating meat as everything is easy.
He look like so scared or like so sad?
Because
Like,
he's
look at his eyes here.
lying.
Isn't he? He's lying to everybody, and nobody believes him. Every single thing he tells us is a lie. Every like anecdote, every personal story, it's all lies. It's all.
Gosh, you told me, hey Andy, you have to go on a diet. You have to eat only steak all day. Oh no! What a tough burrito
fuck, it's so
bowls and steak.
You know what I mean? Like
Easiest shit in the world, bro.
good portions of meat. So you could get like double meat and be good. Now it's triple meat and
Okay.
25
so you're
bucks.
getting
But
you're getting
it's
triple meat. Like when
4,000 calories of fucking meat.
when you're at the point where you're asking for triple meat at Subway.
Wait, no.
That's fucking twisted, man. Like,
What a diet. Oh man, that must be tough. To be
like,
honest.
oh god, I wonder how he got eyes. He's talking about there's not enough meat. I gotta get triple meat on my sandwich. Like
Triple
holy
at Subway. Is that what he said?
well,
It's
like
okay.
Qdoba or whatever the burrito place, you get triple meat.
Okay.
Quadruple meat. You got OG Momar for 5 subs.
Thank you so much. Wait, if you remove all the carbs but replace those calories with meat, isn't it the same calorie intake? Therefore, the same.
and $25, but
Maybe I'm wrong.
it's okay. I stuck to it. I'm already losing weight. You know what's crazy?
It's been
So,
3 days.
I'm probably not even in ketosis yet. It's a I
You're
bought some
not.
test strips, but
It takes like a week.
they're not here
Why?
yet.
Like, by the way, there's really no need to buy the test strips.
Your breath
Because
just instantly starts stinking.
You know.
I've been in
No,
ketosis
like-
before when I'm losing weight. Your breath smells like vegetables. Like it's
You're
weird.
gonna piss on these test strips, like off. Like,
Is that what you do?
yeah, it's
Oh.
stupid. Because if you're doing like this thing, if you're following the diet, you're going to automatically be in ketosis. So why do you need to constantly piss on a to confirm what you already should know? The only way you're not going to be in ketosis is if you're cheating the diet, which
Yeah.
you will also know. So I think the test strips are stupid myself, but
Yeah. By the way, he's in photosis. Photosis. Very funny there. Serbian
Well,
lives
this-
matter.
Like I'm just curious, you know?
Yeah.
And so like I weighed in after day 3 and I had
What was the
lost
number?
really anything, maybe a pound. But when you're as heavy as I am, it probably like
A pound? I lose a pound at my weight in like a day if I really want to.
oh
It's
my
you piss and you
God.
take a dump and you've lost it.
you can fluctuate probably by 2-3 pounds a
Oh,
day
sure.
practically.
Yeah.
So I weighed in last night after all that walking and I was down a pound. I was like, okay, a pound, cool. That's like
20,000 steps. You're on a diet. You're 500 pounds and you lost 1 pound? No, am I crazy here?
2 pounds a week. We'll just stay on this. I woke up this morning and I was down almost 5 pounds. I'm like, how the heck did I burn? How did I burn 4 pounds of fat while I was
fucking
sleeping?
water weight, you retard.
You didn't burn 4 pounds, you stupid cunt.
Takes longer than
Oh
that.
my
Plus, your body
God.
has to like revert. Like it has to change, right?
Like
It takes a few weeks to like start reverting it.
I didn't have like a massive Duke. I didn't have like
Buddy, what actually
Did you hear
happened? Yeah, his massive Duke. What actually happened is Jer sweat because he was drunk. Sweat all of the water out of his body. While he was sleeping. That's what happened.
You see Mel's face when he said Duke?
Well,
Watch.
it's his fetish.
Watch your face here. You want to put it in slow mo. You'll see her face change.
The fecal fixation. Jeremy Hambley.
Watch.
I didn't have like a massive Duke. I didn't have
Her eyes.
It's like your smile is just like sort of faded there.
Yes.
Okay, let's go back.
anything where I was like, oh, I definitely lost some weight. So maybe I'm in ketosis now. My body's like, all right, let's start burning fat, baby.
That's the thing too, is all that
yeah.
walking and stuff, you could have just accumulated a little bit of inflammation in the immediate time, and then that flushed out after sleeping.
My feet were swollen.
Yep.
My feet were both really swollen.
Do you gain weight from inflammation?
So this is not normal. Like to have massive. Listen to this shit he's talking about.
Okay.
Which I think he's telling us this to try and sell the lie that he did 20,000 steps. You know?
You got swollen feet and you gained 5 pounds from your swollen feet? Have you heard of anything like this?
This is diabetes, man. Like this is.
I don't know if that's even true.
But that's awesome. Great progress.
Yeah, we got home. My wife was worried about my knee. She's like, how's your knee? I'm like, it's actually not bad. But then I took off my shoes and socks. And I'm like,
you know, like he
my
just
feet are
had this
swollen like
massive
crazy.
knee injury. Oh.
But this morning they were fine. So maybe it's
That's
just that I was.
This is the
you
thing,
know,
right? Like
was a
he'll
lot-
have these issues, but then it's always like, oh, I'm fine now. You know what I mean? It's always like he's superhuman. There's no ill health effects from being 400 pounds and an alcoholic. And it's just a lie. Like it's obvious that there are health problems, Jeremy. Like,
His
buddy, it's not
Wolverine healing.
It's not normal to have your feet swell up to the size of a balloon because you were outside walking. Man. It's obviously not normal. It's it was normal the next. Sure, it was. Sure, it was.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because by the way, we've seen his like up feet. Like, remember the infections and. Remember the
Yes.
picture of his foot all
We have-
fucked up.
we have it right
So he's
there. It's a sticker.
So he's had problems with his feet for years, but pretends like he's in perfect health. It's like shut the.
That sticker is insane. It looks like a face. It's like an alien, but it's him.
lot of activity. I'm not used to it, especially since I've been taking it super, like I've been taking it super easy because of my knee. So I've been even less active.
Okay, so
But,
we're meant to believe he went from being even less active than being so sedentary that he's like 300 steps a day. He took it even easier than that. And then immediately just revved it to 20,000 steps on a bum knee.
Yeah. That's
Right.
how it happened.
And,
That's
like,
how
it's
it
just,
works.
it's just, man.
Buddy, he rode a scooter.
Yeah, I was great. I was very happy to see that. I mean, I don't expect like, hey, 3 pounds a week would be, I think is a reasonable.
Yeah.
Usually they say 1 to 2 pounds, but I'm so big that like, there's no way I can't hold like
I
3
think
pounds a week for a while.
I think you
know?
could. I really think you can. Yeah.
Yeah. You're
If he quit
I don't
drinking.
think he has any willpower
No.
to stick to it.
I don't think he'll lose 3 pounds this month or this year. I think he's more likely to. Okay, so now we have an entire vlog.
Let's go
of Jer's health journey. So he's starting to do this now.
Okay. All right, guys. Here.
Now after
we-
this, we're gonna go into Ralph.
Ralph.
Yes.
All right, we'll start this.
Starts out of breath.
Immediately, just sucking fucking wind, casually walking over to his shed.
Week's vlog with a little update on the agility course that I started working on last week.
Looks the exact same.
No, there's no difference. But it's baffling to me that he actually thinks that people will really care about his dog agility course. Is he okay?
Here. And it's basically
Get
done.
ready for these
There's
edits,
light in
bro.
here.
You see that?
He's adding
So
fucking
yes,
effects.
he's doing like this really try-hard editing style. Get ready for him showing us the prices of everything that he owns
Okay.
to show us just how much money he wasted on junk.
And it's basically done.
Looks the same.
It's the exact same.
There's Huckapapa.
He added 2 things there.
Go in there.
Watch this.
Come here.
Look at this. This is cringe, bro.
Wow.
He likes going to work with Dad, SpongeBob, Chew Toy, and Elk Antlers. Dislikes delivery drivers, deer, and slippery floors. Competition, retired due to seizures.
Yeah,
Do we need to know about your dog's seizures?
He's
this
Huck,
is
and
so-
there's the Huck
this
and
is
Cuck.
so- Huck and the... Yeah, exactly. And the continuing adventures of Huck and...
Come here. Go in. Go through. Go through. Go on. Good boy. Yeah, that's a good boy.
You just have to imagine, I think that Huck's seizures are caused by his enhanced sense of smell. So when Jer poos his pants, Huck just keels over with the seizure, bro. It's tough, bro.
So there's several steps to it. Basically, they walk through this thing to work on their agility.
Okay,
Then
he
they
spent
jump
on
these
this
things.
$64.99 US. He had to let us know how much he wasted on this.
All this edit is such a waste of time, bro.
Yes,
does not
it
do
really is.
Which are set kind of low right now for Huck.
This
'Cause
cost
$82.
So already he's wasted like $150. And those are just fucking 2 pylons with a stick. You could make that shit for like $10.
I mean, not even.
Just because this is a Sam Hyde sketch.
It looks like a Sam
basically
Hyde
is.
editing. Yeah, it
Fucking
does.
ridiculous.
Back legs aren't the greatest. Then they can go up over this.
Get ready for how much this costs.
Let me
How
guess.
much do you think that costs, Andy?
That thing right here, like this blue thing,
yeah.
like in the foreground.
Yeah.
I'm assuming like $3.99.
All right, let's have a look.
And then we practice our weaves here.
He's so agile, guys.
In and out.
Okay,
in
I
and
bet
out.
the thing in the foreground, so not this. This
okay,
is probably $250.
Then there's a platform where they go up and they sit.
And the real price is
they can go-
$1,665 US.
Go to the park.
Oh my
Go to
god!
the park.
Imagine spending nearly $2,000 on that, bro.
Bro.
It's a fucking ramp. Oh my god.
Buddy, 2
Buy
fucking
some
planks of
fucking
wood from Home
plywood,
Depot.
motherfuck.
Yes, Home
Like,
Depot. 2 planks.
Go up over the.
I'm functionally retarded, and I think even I could build that shit.
Yes,
man. Like
anyone
come
can.
On.
This A-frame.
$800 for a.
So between these 2 things, he spent nearly $3,000 US.
Wow. Okay, for the seesaw.
And then onto the teeter-totter, and then back through. So that's the this update. Looks done. Looks good.
I wonder how he went broke. Like, look at this. How
On
much
this
did he
vlog,
spend on this
we're
shit?
gonna discuss.
There
We
go.
could just go to his channel.
Yeah. We'll
But
head
that,
him in. We'll head him
that
in.
cost what, $699? Surely that's not right.
Is it
And that
quartering
one
vlogs?
cost $1,900. Did you see that?
No,
It was
no, hang on.
$1,900. He spent over $5,000 on this shit, man.
Is it this? Not this.
Quartering vlogs, and then it's time to make a change. But look at how cringe this thumbnail is. Like,
let me see.
Oh my
Let's see.
with the vegetables, which by the way are not keto. So
What's Tim Pool really like?
we could go to that on like Wednesday or
Okay,
something.
yeah, we have a lot, yeah.
That one's largely about his fish aquarium and flexing like his fish. And then like name dropping Tim Pool and how great he is because he knows Tim.
Yeah.
And I'm trying out. Ordering name came.
1,900.
$1,900, and the other one's $69.
Oh my
But
god. Well, that's not a
it's
bad
like-
price for that one, I guess. But
Yeah.
that's crazy.
From. We're going to discuss a big change I'm trying out in my life, and it's going to be a tough one. And I hope that
It's
you
gonna
enjoy
be a
it.
tough one.
I think Thursday's vlog is going to be a little more entertaining.
Oh, he's like, I'm not going to do a weigh-in because it will give the A-logs ammunition, but then does this instead?
But it could give him ammunition if suddenly he starts losing weight. But it's like, listen, bro, we can all tell you're fat as fuck. So you're just in denial about objective reality. Like you just don't want to measure yourself because you don't want to have to face the facts, you know?
Yeah.
But this whole like weight loss journey is kind of a waste if we don't know your weight and know your progress, you know?
Exactly.
It's silly.
But, you know, I wanted to give you an update on this. And obviously I talked about.
Now, somebody asked how
how I
much
would
has
talk
it
about how I
totaled
got my
so
name.
far? So he had what, one that was $2,000, one that I think it's like
40,
I think it's about $5,000 so far.
Yep, it's $5,000.
So if you enjoy the vlogs, please do leave a like on it and make sure you subscribe. Help us hit, I think, 4,000 subscribers already,
Help
which
us.
is pretty bonkers.
You mean you?
It's doing
I mean,
much better
not
than I
really
thought.
when you have 2 million subscribers, but it's a dead channel. It's a zombie channel. And the real like subscribership is all from A-logs. Like this is not people who actually enjoy your content. These vlogs are literally just feeding the trolls, like feasting for the trolls. And which at this point, it's not even trolls. They're just like genuine critics of this idiot. You know what I mean? Like nothing they say is untrue at this point.
Exactly. But we got OG Momar for 5 subs. I don't know if you shouted that out already, but let's go. Let's fucking go, motherfucker. Thank you
We
so
got
much.
Upshots has been
Tumbling.
working 12-hour nights for the last 2 weeks. Glad you guys are back to keep my sanity in check.
Hell yeah, man. It's nice to be back,
And
bro.
Optavia sales rep says, is he adding all this extra info trying to get an affiliate deal? Are there links in the YouTube description box? I'm sure that's actually how his brain is working here, but he won't get
And it seems like people really like it. I'm going to try to do more, you know, stuff that is interesting. Y'all seem to like the fish tank thing last week.
No, nobody liked the fish tank. Oh my god, y'all seem to like the fish tank.
The fish tank. Here's my fish tank, guys.
Guys, don't you love how wealthy I am and all these items that I own, guys? Hey.
A lot of things as cool as that. But we'll work on it. We've got some severe storms coming in, I guess, tonight. Tornado watch in Wisconsin. So I've got to pick up all this stuff outside here. But first, we're going to talk about the name, and then we're going to talk about the changes.
Got Sleazy
and I'll
Drunk
take you on
says,
a little
you
tour of
fuckers took a vacation when I had my birthday, so take this money and fuck Jer.
Thank you.
Fuck Jer,
Let's
buddy.
go.
Happy belated birthday, buddy.
Oh my god, bro. What's this music? He's got
playing
like
it's the Oblivion NPC music, isn't it?
Nah, it sounds like it. It's
It's like
similar. It's similar.
RuneScape.
Is it RuneScape?
that stuff. So
Is he limping? Go back. You're saying he's
We're
limping. That's like it's even further proof
and
though.
what-
Like if he is limping,
First, we're going to talk about the name, and then
A
we're going to
little
talk
bit.
about
a little
the
bit.
changes,
He's not walking
and I'll take you on a little
20,000
tour of
steps.
No, that was a limp.
that stuff. So, where does the quartering come from? Well, it's really
Did you
not
see
that interesting.
bulge
I think
of fat,
a lot
like
of
this fat sack on his neck. Look at it.
Oh my god!
Look at this grotesque. It's just sticking out of his neck like that.
It's like he's wearing a
fuck.
he's got a
An
fake head
alien
on.
monstrosity, some genetic mutation, a tumor or something. Holy shit. His lymph node is like massively inflamed. It could be cancer. Who
He's a
knows?
pelican.
Mm-hmm.
where does the
That's where
quarter
he stores the
He's a
food.
goiter. He's goitering. The goiter. Goiter. Max.
come from? Well,
Fuck.
it's really not that interesting. I think a lot of YouTubers don't have, there you go, boy, a great story for where they came up with their name, but it's literally at the time when kind of like the culture battles started. And
The culture
it
battle. Like,
was
I love how Jeremy, in his mind, believes that the culture war started 10 years ago and hasn't been an ongoing thing for like a century or more. Like forever, there have been cultural wars and battles. Like, love it. In his mind, like politics, culture war, everything just started 10 years ago. The world began after Donald Trump was elected. It's just like, you are.
He's a meme war veteran, bro.
it's a reference to being drawn and quartered, and not
No,
necessarily in the way that you think.
Is he
So
using AI Vince to make these effects?
drawn
think
and
so.
quartered, and not
That's
necessarily.
gotta be AI
thing.
Vince.
So,
That's an AI Vince.
The reference to being drawn and quartered is that it felt like at the time when I picked the name, all the things that I liked were getting torn apart, pulled in each different direction, whether it was politics or money or whatever. And really, really,
what
the
he
deep
likes
lore-
is politics and money. Did you hear that? The things that he liked were being pulled in different directions. Money was being pulled in different politics. Being pulled. What? The fuck are we talking about? By the way, it really is pathetic that these guys, this like leftist infiltration and subversion of media, academia, this didn't just start 10 years ago. But these guys like just woke up to it 10 years ago and then like think that, oh, this is when it started, bro. This is no, you stupid. This subversion has been going on for at least 50 years, if not longer. You know,
Yep.
this has
Mhm.
been a long time coming, but all just started with Gamergate. No, you dumb.
It's a reference to Magic the Gathering. I used to play Magic the Gathering a lot. The game got exceedingly woke and basically said they didn't want any conservatives spending millions of dollars with them anymore. And it became very unwelcoming. And it was the first time in my entire life that I had experienced anything like that, in particular with Magic the Gathering, because the community for Magic is so